ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतस्य भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः।
बैकग्राउंड में आवाज किसका आ रहा है? आराम करे।
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले सोऽयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवादी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरद्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। सर्वशास्त्राब्धि पीयूष सर्ववेदैक सत्फल सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नाढ्य सर्वलोकैक दृक्प्रद सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद्भागवत प्रभु फलिध्वान्तोदितादित्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तित परमानंद पाठाय प्रेमवर्षक्षराय ते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोस्तुते। मदेक बंधो मत्संगिन मद्गुरो मन्महाधन मन्निस्तारक मद्भाग्य मदानंद नमोस्तुते। असाधु साधुता दायिन अति निचोच्चता कर आनमुंच कदाचिन्मां प्रेमणार्थ कंठयोस्फुर श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम की इच्छा। Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you in today's session. So we continue and we are now at the last chapter in this unit, chapter number 70. So in today's session, we will complete this chapter. Chapter 70 entitled Lord Krishna's Daily Activities. So let us get started. Okay. All right. Shri Shuka Uvacha Adhoshasthupavrittayam Kukutan Kujato Shapan Grihita Kanthyaha Patibhir Madhavyo Virahatuраha. Okay, Vanamali Govind Prabhu, can you read, Prabhu? A few translations.
Yes. Shukadev Goswami said, as dawn approached, the wives of Lord Madhava, each embraced around the neck by her husband, cursed the crowing roosters. Ladies were disturbed that now they would be separated from him.
Hare Krishna. So this particular chapter continues the theme of last chapter. Narad Muni had observed. I think, Prabhu, you can keep yourself on mute. There is some. Yeah, thank you. So there is this context of Narad Muni's seeing the activities of the Lord in Dwaraka. So continuing the same context, as Narad Muni had observed some of these activities, some of the daily schedule of the Lord. So Shukadev Goswami, along with those things which Narad Muni had observed, he also speaks some other things. And in this way, he speaks about Krishna's daily schedule in Dwaraka. And this is especially from the angle of Krishna showing Shraddhitatmani, right? That verse had come. Dharmartha Kame Shraddhitatmani. Meaning he acted as if he had great faith in Dharmartha Kama. So this is in continuation of that. Meaning the daily activities which are spoken here, they are from that angle of Manushya Leela. They are from the angle of Loka Shiksha. In general, for teaching people dharma, he acted like this. Loka Shiksha Panartham. And also Narakautuka Leelartham. And also because he was playing the part of a human being, Nara. So these aspects, many of them are connected to like dharma, artha, kama, that kind of living, this way. So you don't have to take that everything here is like, that's how a Vaishnava Grahastha should live. Not necessarily. Some of these things are common. Some are specific to the Varnashrama Dharma that Lord demonstrated. Like worshipping demigods and all those things. So this is clarified by the acharyas in the beginning only, that this whole description is in continuation of that dharma, artha, kama, shraddhitatmani, like that. Okay. So that's how Krishna's Ahnikam are being described. This is Sri Krishna Ahnikam. Ahnikam is Dinacharya. Ahaha means day. So Ahnikam is, what all things that he did throughout his day. Dinacharya, daily routine, daily schedule. That is being described over here. So right from his waking up in the morning, these things are spoken. So Shuka Uvacha, Shri Shukdev spoke, continued. Adhoshasi upavrittayam, ushasi upavrittayam. When Ushakala, when the dawn, it was very nearby, it was about to appear now, approaching. So at that point of time, Kukutan Kujato Shapan, the Kukutas, meaning the roosters and the cocks, the roosters, they crow, right? That's how traditionally people would understand that it's morning time, like that, because the roosters, they crow in the morning. Now in Kali Yuga, the roosters also crow sometimes, at 10 o'clock in morning, 3 o'clock. Indeed, I mean, I had been to one place and it was like a village only, or town, you could say. And the roosters were crowing around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. So that's how the condition is. In fact, in Western world, in one of the places, the roosters were crowing around 10 o'clock. So it's understandable sometimes that in Kali Yuga, everything goes topsy-turvy. Of course, in such places, the sunrise would be also very late. Sunrise would be at 8:30 in the morning. So sometimes, yeah, depending on the atmospheric weather conditions. But this is Dwaraka, right? This is Bharatvarsha, and this is in that also, this is Dwaraka. So Kukutan Kujato, all these roosters would start crowing very early in the morning at before Brahma Muhurta, in fact. So when that crowing of roosters was heard, Lord's wives, Madhavi is Madhava's wife. So Madhavyaha. So all of them who were sleeping with their husband, Lord Krishna, who was in multiple forms, right? He by his Prakasha Bheda. So that's why it is Pati Bhi Bahuvachanam. Plural has been used with their husbands, meaning that all those different forms of Krishna, Prakashas of Krishna, that the various queens were resting with Lord, sleeping with the Lord. Grihita Kantyaha, and Lord had embraced them around their necks while they were sleeping. So now that roosters crowed, so they were very much unhappy because they knew that now they will be separated from their beloved Lord. Virahatura. So literally they, a shapat, they curse the roosters, that why these roosters are crowing, that our Lord will leave us now. What were the curses? The curses were like Mriyantam, Are mar jao tum, kya awaaj kar rahe ho ऐसे? Mriyantam, or Mukhi Bhavantu. Mukhi Bhavantu means you become you should not be able to what is called the person who does not, he cannot speak, dumb. Yeah, dumb. So you become dumb. Mukhi Bhavantu. Like that, they would literally curse the roosters. Although actually, roosters themselves were also eager for Lord's darshana when he will come out, right? So they are also rendering their service. The birds are rendering their service. That Lord is woken up and then he can give the darshan to all the living beings. Otherwise, inside palace, only queens and then other maid servants and servants, they can see the Lord. But now he would be woken up and he would come out so that birds, bees, everyone can see him. So that's how this was. But then still the queens, because they are getting separated from the Lord, so they would be literally cursing these different roosters. That text 2. Vayamsi roruvan Krishnam bodhayanti va vandinah gayat swalishva anidrani mandara vanavayubhihi. Yes, Prabhu. Vanmali going through, you please continue reading.
Okay. The bees
Yeah, you
buzzing.
continued. For 15 verses, you continue.
Okay. The bees buzzing caused by the fragrant breeze from the Parijata garden roused the birds from sleep. And when the birds began to sing loudly, they woke Lord Krishna like court poets reciting his glories.
So there is a lot of chirping that's coming from your place also. So you are making the setting, it's creating that atmosphere. Okay, Prabhu. So thank you. So Vayamsi Aroruvan Krishnam. Vayamsi means birds. So Mandara Vanavayubhi, there were a lot of Parijat trees in Lord's Dwarka, right? In Lord's Antapur palaces. And then because of these Parijat trees, in the early morning, we see that Parijat trees, they exude a great fragrance. They emit out a great fragrance. So because of the fragrance of those Parijat flowers and the wind or the air carrying those fragrances, first the bees would be awakened. the bees would become very active and they would start buzzing because of that, very intoxicating fragrance of Parijat flowers. Gayatsu Alishu. So the wind or the breeze would wake the bees up, and then the bees would, by their buzzing, wake the birds up. Vayamsi. So in this way, by buzzing, the birds would wake up, and then those birds made such wonderful sounds. Chirping of the birds was so sweet. Color Rava, that particular sound woke Krishna. Vayamsi aroruvan Krishna bodhayanti vandina. It was as if the Vandijanas, those who are bards, right, professional, singers, glorifiers, bards, that they would be waking up the Lord. So these birds would act like that. They would act as if the bards were there. So these would wake the Lord up, and in this way, he would be awake now to perform his daily activities. Muhurtam tam tu Vaidarbhi namrishat atishobhanam parirambhana vishleshat priya bahvantaram gata.
Lying in her beloved's arms, Queen Vaidarbi did not like this most auspicious hour, for it meant she would lose his embrace.
Yeah, so if any of you don't like Brahma Muhurta, Queen Vaidarbhi, Rukminiji also did not like. But the difference is there, huge difference, that Vaidarbhi did not like this most auspicious hour because she would be separated from Lord's embrace, pre Bahvantaram Gata. In fact, Vallabhacharya gives very interesting commentary on this verse. He says Vaidarbhi came from Vidarbha. So Vidarbha was known like that because Darbha Bhavena, Vidarbha. Because Darbha grass would not grow so much in Vidarbha. Vidarbha was devoid of Darbha grass. It would not grow so much. So Darbha grass is especially needed in Karma Kand. So absence of Darbha grass showed that the Vidarbha Vasis and especially Vaidarbhi, that is Rukmini, did not have any faith in Karma Kand. she had only love for Krishna, and she had only faith in the bhakti process, not so much in Karma Kand. He gives the commentary like that, Vaidarbhi. So because Brahma Muhurta and all these are very important muhurtas, especially when it comes to Karma Kand, so she did not like Brahma Muhurta. So you understand basically what he wants to say is, he is glorifying only. Vaidarbhi is being glorified actually. So Brahma Muhurta is most auspicious, obviously we know, for any spiritual life. But this is going beyond that auspiciousness, inauspiciousness to Vipralambha and Sambhoga. Because she is getting separated from the Lord, so although Brahma Muhurta is the most auspicious time, but still she would not tolerate arrival of that Brahma Muhurta. And na amrishat ati shobhanam. Although that Muhurta is ati shobhanam. Brahma Muhurta is 14th Muhurta of the night. Every night and day is divided into 15 Muhurtas. All of you know these things. Or 30 Ghatikas. One Ghatika is 24 minutes. One Muhurta is 48 minutes. So every day of 12 hours and night of 12 hours is divided into 15 muhurtas or 30 ghatikas. So that's our day is 60 ghatikas total. So 14th muhurta is called as Brahma Muhurta. Sometimes 14th and 15th, last and second last, both muhurtas are also called as Brahma Muhurta. And Jiva Goswami says that Ratrehe Chaturdasho Bhago Brahma Muhurtam Prachakshate. The Brahma Muhurt is actually 14th Muhurta of the night. So that would mean that penultimate Muhurta, meaning 48 minutes before sunrise, and before that 48 minutes, that's actually Brahma Muhurta, penultimate, like that. So usually Prabhupada taught us that both the Muhurtas, which means 48, 48, two Muhurtas before sunrise, they are known as Brahma Muhurtas, which is 14th and 15th part of the night. So, all right. So Lord Krishna would be getting up at that point. In fact, before that only, Brahma Muhurta was approaching that time. So that's how, when that Brahma Muhurta was approaching, Vaidarbhi, seeing the imminent separation from the Lord, she would be, very much distressed, and she could not tolerate forthcoming of that Brahma Muhurta. Parirambhana Vishleshat, because she would be separated from his beloved's embrace. Priya Bhavavantaram Gata. So in fact, this is Upalakshanam of all the queens. Rukmini is just representing all the queens here in terms of the feeling. That is called as Upalakshanam. Rukmini is Upalakshanam. Rukmini is here representative or prototype of the feelings that are experienced by all the queens. All the queens felt like that. They felt extremely distressed when the Brahma Muhurta arrived, because they were going to get separated from Krishna, like that. Brahme Muhurta Utthaya Varyupasprisha Madhavaha Dadhyo Prasanna Karana Atmanam Tamasah Param Ekam Swayam Jyotirananyam Avyayam Swasamsthaya Nitya Nirasta Kalmasham Brahmakyam Asyodbhavanasha Hetubhi Swashaktibhir Lakshita Bhava Nirvritim.
Lord Madhava would rise during the Brahma Muhurta period and touch water. With a clear mind, he would then meditate upon himself, the single, self-luminous, unequaled and infallible supreme truth known as Brahman, who by his very nature ever dispels all contamination, and who through his personal energies which cause the creation and destruction of this universe manifests his own pure and blissful existence.
Yeah. So in this way, before that Brahma Muhurta, Lord would Utthaya, he would get up, and Varyupasprisha Madhavaha, and he would touch the waters, it is mentioned. Right? He would do the Achmana, that's the point. He would wash his hands and legs, and then he would sit to meditate on himself. Did he not take bath? So now on this, there is difference of opinion. Shripad Vallabhacharya says that he would only wash hands and legs and sit for meditation, because the internal purification, that is dhyanam, is done before the external purification. So first he would get up and meditate on himself, and then after that he would go and take bath after some time, like meditating for some time in that manner. So that's why the word that is used is Varyu Pasprisha. Snan and all is coming later, actually, if you see. So that's how Atmanam Tamasaha Param, he meditated on himself as transcendental personality, Tamasaha Param. In this way, Supreme Lord is actually showing Manusha Leela, so he is showing that how he is meditating on himself. So that Lord whom he was meditating on, he is qualified by many, many words in the next verse. Ekam Swayam Jyotihi, that Supreme Lord who is the Ekameva Dvitiyam, he is the one without a second, that Lord. Atmanam Dadhyo, he meditated on himself. So that Atmanam, that himself is glorified in these words. That's how all the words are in Dvitiya Vibhakti, Ekam, Ananyam, Avyayam, because Atmanam, Dadhyo. So that Sri Krishna, he meditated on himself, his own form, which was Ekam, which was one without a second. Swayam Jyotihi, because that form was self-luminous. That form does not need anyone else to manifest its presence, or we are not self-luminous, right? In this world, Shakti is not self-luminous. Unless and until Lord approves and sanctions revelation, we see that the Shakti cannot be revealed also. Shakti cannot manifest also. So Swayam Jyoti is someone who is self-existent, which means that he does not depend on anything. In fact, the energies depend on him. He does not depend on the energies. That's the point. That is the meaning of Swayam Jyoti, self-luminous. And Ananyam, if someone can say, well, there are many other forms also of Lord, like Sankarshana or like that. No, they are non-different from him. They are his Swamshas only. So that's why he was Ananya. Non-different. All these forms were non-different from him. He was only manifesting in those Swamshas or Vibhutis or whatever. And thus he was Avyayam, infallible. Thus he was that personality who was singular and infallible. Swasamsthaya nitya nirasta kalmasham. And by his own chit shakti, by his own transcendental nature, he is nitya nirasta kalmasham. He is beyond all the contamination of material world. Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam. It is exactly meaning the same thing. Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam. So just as by his own transcendental potency, he is always beyond the contamination of the material world. He is never influenced by any material thing, energy, because he is always situated in Chit Shakti. Matter cannot touch him. Material feelings cannot touch him. Subtle or gross matter, nothing can touch him. He is swasamsthaya, swasamyak sthiti. He is in his own perfect position, which is of Chit Shakti. Lord is, in Chit Shakti, right? Chit Shaktya Kaivalye Sthita Atmani. Even Narad Muni also says that. Yes. So in this way, he is the one who's always Sachidananda, Chinmaya, Chitghana personality. Brahmakhyam asyodbhavanasha hetu bhi svasha. And that Brahmakhyam, that Brahma, which is very popular, which is very famous, Akhyam, Khyati is there of Brahman. That is also him only, because it is his Prakasha, that is his light coming from him, that is his effulgence. Asya udbhavanasha hetu bhi swashakti bhi, and he possesses energies which are meant for creation and maintenance, and also destruction of this world, creation, destruction, etc. He possesses these energies for the creation and destruction and like that. And by all these energies, lakshita bhava nirvritim, means that, see, bhava here means people. Bhava means satta here. Bhu sattayam. Bhava means existence, which is talking about the jivas here. So, nirvritim means one who bestows happiness. Nirvriti is happiness. Lakshita bhava nirvritim. He bestows, by his energies, he bestows a great happiness on all the living entities. So what is that energy actually? Is that energy Maya Shakti or like that? No, he's talking about by his transcendental potencies, which are manifested in process of, jnana, yoga, or bhakti, uh, especially process of bhakti, because, yeah, jnana and yoga manifest, um, they're manifested by Vidya Shakti, but bhakti is manifested by Chit Shakti. So that's why by the dint of these potencies like Vidya uh, and Chit Shakti, he bestows happiness such as mukti and happiness such as prema on the living entities. Lakshita bhava nirvriti. That's the meaning of this text actually. So he meditated himself in that manner on all these wonderful qualities of himself, thereby showing to the conditioned souls that this is how they should meditate on the Supreme Lord. So in purport also, Vishwanath Chakravarti's this bhava being translated as created beings has been uh, uh, highlighted. Yes, one who is favored by Lord's internal potency can understand the nature of absolute truth. This understanding is called Krishna consciousness. So the true happiness for a jiva comes by dint of actually Lord's internal potency. That is nirvritim, lakshatta bhava nirvritim. That point is being spoken over here. Like that. Okay. So that's how Lord Krishna meditated on himself, showing to people. Yeah, what is there, Arjunesh Prabhu? What you want
Here,
to say?
bhava means created beings. Means,
Yeah. Yeah. You have any trouble with that?
Prabhuji, many times we hear that Lord, the two questions are there. So Lord, sometimes he meditates upon internal potency of the himself. We hear that he meditates on the internal potency. When we hear Vrindavan pastime, that what he meditates upon. And here it's mentioned he's remembering himself means he's remembering his own Sakti is or his
No.
own.
See, he is remembering himself means he is remembering himself only. And when you remember the Lord, how can it be devoid of Shakti, Prabhu? If it is devoid of Shakti, then you are remembering him as Brahman. No? If you remember the Lord without Shakti, then that is Brahman. So when Lord is remembering himself, it has to be with his Shakti. No? That is when you call Bhagavad Smaranam or Bhagavana Smarana or even Paramatma for that matter. When you remember Lord with material Shaktis, that is Paramatma. When you remember Lord with his Chit Shakti and all Samasta Shaktis, that is Bhagavan. If you remember him without his potencies, that is Brahman. So here there is complete meditation. You can see Brahmakhyam has come, Shakti bhi has come. All features are there. Okay.
And Prabhuji, this you said that he woke up and touched the water, and then he started meditation. So generally we hear that
What do we learn?
we should purify
Okay.
everything. So uh,
Tatra arpita niyamita smaranena kala. You want to chant, without taking baths, some rounds you could do so. But see, the point is that for doing Kriya, one has to be purified completely in body also. For Dhyanam, it is mentioned here by Vallabhacharya. And even Jiva Goswami, others also agree with that. That basically, Prabhu, Dhyanam is internal purification. So for that, uh, ritual wise, one doesn't have to necessarily purify himself by bathing. One could wash his hands and feet, do achmana, and one could do dhyanam. But if one is going to be involved with kriya, which means actual process of worship like ija, taking objects, offering to the Lord the objects, or even things like Gayatri and all that, there then the snanam is must. You have to do it. Otherwise, you cannot do those things. You understand? So that's how it is. Yeah. So that's how, based on this also, we can understand why Mahaprabhu says that Nam Namakari Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita Niyamita Smarani Kalaha. Because that's how, for chanting the holy names or meditating on Lord's names, qualities, you don't need such as something's like bath and all that. But when you have to engage your senses, mind, I mean, especially senses, I'm saying kriya, then the bath becomes a must. So for Mangalarti and participating in Mangalarti, where we are, offering the worship to the Lord and others who are also participating in that worship, then the factor of bath will become very important. Like that. So that's the point. If one gets up early in the morning and takes first bath and then performs all these activities, that is good only. That's how Prabhupada taught us. But Varyupasprisha word has come. So there is some comment on that, because even here the translation is done as he touched the water. So that's why I thought I will clarify that thing. All right.
Yes, Guruji.
Okay. So now further. Atha Pluto. See, now comes Apluto. Now comes bathing. Atha Plutombhyasya Atha Plutombhasyamale Yatha Vidhi Kriya Kalapam Paridhaya Vasasi Chakara Sandhyopagamadi Sattamo Hutanalo Brahma Jajapavagyata.
That most saintly of personalities would then bathe in sanctified water, dress himself in lower and upper garments, and perform the entire sequence of prescribed rituals, beginning with worship at dawn. After offering oblations into the sacred fire, Lord Krishna would silently chant the Gayatri Mantra.
Yeah. So after that, thereafter, Apluto, having taken bath, Ambhasi Amale, in the waters of Tirthas, uh, within Dwarka, in his Antapura also, he had great kundas where the Tirtha Jala was present. And he would go and bathe there then. Uh, Amale Ambhasi, that's why Tirtha Jale, that's how it is translated. Yatha Vidhi, and everything as per the Vedic rules he would follow. Kriya Kalapam Paridhaya Vasasi, he would follow the exact Vedic rituals in terms of bathing, and then whatever all those rituals that are followed after bathing, putting on the dress, Paridhaya Vasasi, Chakara Sandhopagamadi Sattamo, and then he would do things such as Sandhya Vandanam and all that. Huta Nalo Brahma Jajapa Vagyata. He would, after Sandhya Vandanam and all, he would perform the sacrifice, daily Agnihotra is there. So that Agnihotra sacrifice he would perform. And then he would also chant Brahma Gayatri. Vagyataha. He would chant it silently. So that's the main. It is mentioned that Sridhar Swami points out that Lord Krishna was from Kanva Gotra, disciplic succession of Kanva Muni. So Kanva Gotra. So that's how he would offer oblations before the sunrise. There are different vidhanas based on the gotras at the time of sunrise or before sunrise. Anyway, these are all things that are hardly present in Kali Yuga. So, yeah. Text 7-9. Upasthayarkam udyantam tarpayitvatmanah kala devan rishin pitrun vriddhan vipran abhyarcha chatmavan dhenunam rukma shringinam sadhvinam moktikasrajam payasvininam grishtinam savatsanam suvasasam dadau rupya puragranam क्षौमाजिन तिलै सह अलंकृतेभ्यो विप्रेभ्यो बद्वम dine dine.
Each day the Lord worshipped the rising sun and propitiated the demigods, sages, forefathers who are all his expansions. The self-possessed Lord would then carefully worship his elders and the Brahmanas. To those well-attired Brahmanas, he would offer herds of tame and peaceful cows with gold-plated horns and pearl necklaces. These cows were also dressed in fine cloth, and the fronts of their hooves were plated with silver. Providers of abundant milk, they had each given birth only once and were accompanied by their calves. Daily the Lord gave many groups of 13,084 cows to the learned Brahmanas, together with linen, deer skins, and sesame seeds.
Yeah. So you can see that worshipping the sun, worshipping demigods, the sages, forefathers, which is the traditional Vedic Varnashrama Kshatriya's duties. So he would perform all of them, worship his elders, Brahmanas, and he would give best quality cows in charity every day. Badvam, Badvam Dine Dine, it is mentioned. So Badva is 13,084. Sridhar Swami explains these things, Badva. So he would give cows which were not like, sometimes some people want to give cows which are like, diseased cows, or cows which are like, they don't give milk or like that. And then those cows people want to get rid of, like that. Krishna, he is giving cows. You see, cows only are qualified by so many words. Rukma Shringinam, they had horns which were decorated with gold. Sadhvi cows, they were not cows which were violent, beating the masters. No, sadhvi cows. Mauptika Srijam, they were wearing pearl necklaces. Payasvini Nam, they were actually first time they had given birth to a calf. It was not like this is their second calf or anything. No, first time. So it's like, most special and auspicious. Uh, Savatsanam, along with their calves, decorated them so well. Hmm. Even their hooves were decorated with silver. Hmm. And such beautiful cows, along with even the Brahmanas were decorated, alam kritebhyo viprebhyo. Even the Brahmanas, they were dressed in fine garments, uh, whatever is suitable for a Brahmana in that manner, and along with some ornaments and all. So they were offered these wonderful cows. So 13,084 is like seems to be standard of donating the cows like that. So Krishna would donate many groups of such 13,084. Sridhar Swami is quoting this, that even the Bharat Maharaj, Daushanti Bharat, son of Dushyanta Bharat Maharaj, he also would donate daily 14 lakh cows, 107 badwas. That was the standard. 107 badwas he would daily donate the cows, like that, uh, in this way. Or it is mentioned that he donated those cows in one particular sacrifice, like that. It is mentioned. So, yeah, that's how this whole thing is spoken over here. Prabhupada's Krishna book gives wonderful details, and the Prabhupada's disciples, they have written very nice thing about Krishna book here. So you can read this, Prabhu, this last paragraph. Hare
In
Krishna.
Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada writes with striking and profound insight on these pastimes of Lord Krishna. The reader is strongly urged to study this book, which contains an invaluable wealth of information and commentary on the pastimes described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Our humble attempt here can never equal the consummate purity and skill of our great master. Still, as a service offered at his lotus feet, we are simply presenting the original Sanskrit text of the 10th canto word for word meanings, a clear translation and essential commentary for the most part based on the statements of the great spiritual masters in our line.
Yeah, so actually Krishna book is written with like such a beautiful insight that Prabhupada, he combined so many ideas of previous acharyas and puts them into a free-flowing, lucid translation. So it's a very consummate attempt which maintains the purity and skill of Prabhupada. It is actually a very free-flowing read. Otherwise, sometimes the study of the text by the words and all, that is primarily for the scholastic audience, the serious audience which can learn in that manner. But for many people, it's difficult to study like that. But then Prabhupada, for those who want to study it as a lucid, free-flowing text, so we see that Krishna book is there, in which he practically essential ideas of acharyas he has incorporated there very wonderfully, like that. So many of these commentaries, insights, they are seen in Krishna book nicely. And then for those who want to study text by text, then there is also 10th canto available. So they can study in the more scholastic and serious manner, like that. So here, proper disciples, they also, admit very humbly that they are just trying to present Sanskrit text and keep proper style, and then just present the ideas of previous acharyas in their books. So, yes, Hare Krishna. Text 10. Go Vipra Devata Vriddha Gurun Bhutani Sarvashah Namaskrityatma Sambhutir Mangalani Samasprishat.
Lord Krishna would offer obeisances to the cows, brahmanas, and demigods, his elders and spiritual masters, and all living beings, all of whom are expansions of his supreme personality. Then he would touch auspicious things.
Yeah. So he would offer his obeisances to these vibhutis like cow or the brahmanas. These are considered vibhutis of the Lord. Devatas, Vriddha Gurun, also to the spiritual masters and the seniors, elders, all of them offering their obeisances, in fact, to all the living entities, because they are his own expansions within Namshas. So he would then touch the auspicious items. So these are all the auspicious rituals that are there in typical Vedic life for a king. Atmanam bhushayamasa naraloka vibhushanam vasobhir bhushanai sviyer divyasraganu anulepanaihi.
He would decorate his body, the very ornament of human society, with his own special cloths and jewelry, and with divine flower, garlands, and ointments.
Although he is basically the most beautiful personality in the whole creation, but still Atmanam Bhushayamasa. He would decorate himself before leaving. He would decorate himself with, best of the clothes, his pitambara and all these vishesh, special clothes that Lord wears. Also his special bhushanas, ornaments such as kaustubha and all that. Sviyair, that's the word used. Specifically, he would only have them. Similarly, Divyasra Ganulepane, his beautiful Vanamala that he would wear, or all other different kinds of Ratnamalas that he would wear, like that. So with this all, he would decorate himself. Although Naraloka Vibhushanam, he is actually the ornament of this human society, right? Bhushanam Bhushanangam. Uddhava also says that he is Bhushana Bhushanangam. Lord's body would actually, his limbs were so beautiful that they would bring about the beauty for the ornaments. The ornaments and the dress would, they were not look that beautiful when Lord was not wearing them. But, when Lord was wearing them, then they would actually get all the beauty. So he was increasing the beauty of the ornaments and the dress. That's how he was. But then he dressed appropriately for the occasion, as was expected from king. Aveksharjam tatha darsham govrisha dvija devataha kamamscha sarva varnanam Pauranta Puracharinam Pradapya Prakriti Kamai Pratosha Pratyanandata.
He would then look at ghee, a mirror, the cows and bulls, the brahmanas and the demigods, and see to it that the members of all the social classes living in the palace and throughout the city were satisfied with gifts. After this, he would greet his ministers, gratifying them by fulfilling all their desires.
So then he would look at himself in ghee and mirror. These are considered auspicious things. Then he would uh, look at cows, bulls, brahmanas, demigods, and then offer them the gifts. He would also offer gifts to his ministers. So this is all in the morning that he is doing. संविभज्याग्रतो विप्रान् स्रक्ताम्बूला नुलेपनैः सूरिदः प्रकृतिर्दारान् उपायुङ्क्त ततः स्वयं. Yes, Prabhu.
After first distributing flower garlands, pan, and sandalwood paste to the brahmanas, he would give these gifts to his friends, ministers, and wives, and finally he would partake of them himself.
Yeah. Even before accepting anything, he would give it to others. I mean, that's how a grahastha is supposed to live, right? He before he takes for himself, he gives it to his wife and children and dependents and like that. So here also Krishna, things like garlands or tambula or anulepana, sandalwood paste, and all other objects, and in fact even prasadam for that matter, the bhoga, Lord is accepting prasad. So that also he would first give it to others, and then he would accept himself like that. So that's how. Of course, we know that Lord's devoted wives and his devoted servants, they would not take before the Lord, but offering all these things to them and asking them to accept it, then he would partake himself all these things. Tavat Suta Upaniya Syandanam Paramadbhutam Sugrivadyair Hayer Yuktam Pranamyavasthito Gratah.
By then, the Lord's driver would have brought his supremely wonderful chariot, yoked with Sugriva and his other horses. His charioteer would bow down to the Lord and then stand before him.
Yeah. So after doing this, after having his food and in this way now becoming ready, then by that time now Daruka would come there, Suta, which is Daruka. He would bring Lord's beautiful great chariot, Syandanam, Paramadbhutam, most wonderful chariot. That was that was carried by these four horses of the Lord, very famous horses of the Lord, Sugriva, Manipushpaka, Shaibya, no, Sugriva, Shaibya, Megha Pushpa, and Balahaka. Yeah. Shaibya, Sugriva, Megha Pushpa, and Balahaka. Very beautiful chariots of the Lord, these chariot horses of the Lord, and he would bring them pranamya avasthito agratah, and he would be ready, offering obeisances to the Lord, he would be ready. So Daruka would stand at the Mahagopuram. These Antapuras, 16,108 palaces were there. So from every palace, Lord would leave, right? Because he is in so many Prakash Bhedas. He's in so many different forms. So he would leave from all these palaces, and there was a common point of exit of these palaces. I mean, in first you individually exited from various palaces, and then there was one common point where one would exit the Antapur itself to go to Sudharma. So at that point, Daruka would be standing at that Mahagopuram, where basically only one form of the Lord is sitting on that chariot. So many forms, 16,108 forms. So all the residents of Dwarka, they would see that Lord is leaving their palaces and like that. So he would be leaving. But at the time of sitting in the chariot, he would be seen only as one form. So at that point, in fact, all the queens and all would gather there at one place. So you can see, although he is leaving individually all the palaces, at the exit Mahagopuram, or you can say entrance or exit, whatever you want to call it, Mahagopuram of that Antapur, they would see that one form only of the Lord. All the queens surrounded Lord and all the dasis and from all the mahal, from all the palaces that were there. This is how. So that was the place where Daruka would be waiting for the Lord. Grihitva panina pani sarathe stam atharuhat satyakyudhava samyukta purvadrim iva bhaskaraha.
Holding on to his charioteer's hands, Lord Krishna would mount the chariot together with Satyaki and Uddhava, just like the sun rising over the easternmost mountain.
Yeah. So Satyaki and Uddhava would also accompany with the Lord on his chariot. And Daruka, he would fold his hands, Anjali Mudra, like this, and he would help Lord. Lord would place his hand on the Anjali, two hands of Daruka, and that's how he would mount on the chariot. He would climb on the chariot. And he looked like Purvadrim Iva Bhaskaraha, just as the sun, it is manifesting on the Purvachala, on the eastern mountain, like that. When Lord was sitting on, mounting on that chariot, it appeared like that. So that shows how the chariot was very huge. It was a big chariot, actually. Just as a mountain, Purvachala mountain is very huge. So similarly, it is showing that magnificence and greatness of that chariot that Lord was. It appeared literally like how the sun was actually manifesting on the Purvachala. Similarly, Lord also was sitting or mounting that chariot. Ikshitontah purastrinam savrida prema vikshitaihi krichrad visrishto niragat jatahaso haranmanaha. Yeah.
The palace.
Yes, Prabhu, read.
It's done, 15, no?
No, you can read this last verse. I lost some.
The palace woman would look upon Lord Krishna with shy, loving glances, and thus he would get free from them only with difficulty. He would then set off, his smiling face captivating their minds.
So at that point of leaving, Ikshitaha, he was glanced by his beautiful consorts, and with their shyness, vrida, and love that they have, so much of love for the Lord. So that's why it was difficult for him to live. Krichrad Visrishto. He also felt a difficulty. He is prema vasha. Lord is controlled by the love, right? So now it is his duty to go to Sudharma assembly. But yes, such was the love of his devotees, like all his queens and all other servants of the Lord, that Krichrad Visrishto. It is said he got separated from them only by a great difficulty, like that. In fact, they were also feeling great difficulty to be separated from the Lord, all the more, in fact. But then, in order to pacify them, Jata Hasa, Lord would just smile at them, and thus he would steal their hearts. Hari, yeah, one who harati chittam, harati amangalam. So that Lord Hari, he would steal their minds as he would leave in his chariot this way. So he would pacify the queens by saying that, soon he would be back. They don't have to feel why they are feeling so much distressed? Because he would be soon back. So Lord would come back for lunch prasadam. He would come back for lunch. He was 3-timer prasad taker, so he would come back for lunch prasad after having breakfast. He wouldn't carry any tiffin or anything like that. Very great opulence. So that's how he would pacify them, that I am just lunch prasadam. You wait till that time. I am coming back. Why are you feeling so much miserable this way? That. Okay, so after this, there is description of Lord entering into Sudharma. So I think we'll just take a break for Gayatri. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Arjuneshwar Prabhu. What is the question?
Was there any temple in the Dwarka? Means the Lord, like after bathing, used to go to temple, taking darshan, doing yagya.
No, but it is mentioned that within the palaces of all the queens, that there were naturally, because Lord is there and he himself is also doing worship, no? So there was, you can say, there must be a kind of temple there. He is worshipping demigods, he is worshipping these things. He is also worshipping his own form. Archanam word is also used at many places in Harivamsha and all that. So it's not like a huge temple was there or like that, but within every palace of the queen also, there was arrangement to worship the Lord. Certainly it was there. So that way we can understand.
Okay. Proji, and what I was asking. Okay, Madhusyabu can ask then.
Madhav Seva Prabhu, yeah.
I ask you a question on chat, Prabhu.
Okay. Chat.
मिला क्या? तो वापस बोलो.
Yeah, I'm just saying now. Yeah. Gayatris and rituals. So that, yeah, bro, that I can check personally. It's a long topic on Gayatri rituals. So
Not Gayatri. Other things also we do, like Vachu Shanti they call. Then different sanskara for our devotees, how we have to do. Everybody has his own manual. South Indians will follow their manual.
yeah, see, in general, within Gaudiya Vaishnavism, yes, Gopal Bhatt Goswami has advised to follow Vaishnava Vidhi only. Now, in that Vaishnava Vidhi is something like Satkriya Sardipika, these books are there. But if there are more detailed ideas on that, I would say that yes, we have to be clear with many other things also, like some recommendations in Hari Bhakti Vilas and all. How much of that we follow in Gaudiya tradition, and that can be a huge discussion. In general, as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, our Goswamis have forbidden to worship demigods and all. We don't do that. That is Vaidika way, Vaidika or general Varnashram way. But as Vaishnavas, we don't worship demigods and all that. So, although it is within the fold of Vedas only, no doubt, but it is a path of Vaishnavism. It is not exactly path of typical uh, Vedic rituals and all that. So now, how do Vaishnav families, which typically come from Brahmin families and all, they do it? Well, I am also exploring that so much. I am not like very detailed aware of things like Sandhya Vandanam and the demigod uh, worship that is done within the Sandhya Vandanam and many other aspects of all that. So how do they do that? I would say, Prabhu, yeah, I would have to explore myself. But one basic principle is there that, yeah, that's why here also in beginning Acharyas have clarified that, yes, this is more from the aspect of having that faith in Dharmartha Kama, that Lord Krishna is acting. But some things will be common, like getting up in the morning, taking bath, worshipping Lord, respecting elders, respecting Vaishnavas. These are like common things. They are there in both the paths, Vaishnava path or normal Vedic Varnashrama path also. And also Brahma Gayatri chanting, along with that, we do other Pancharatri ki Gayatris also. So here, Prabhu, the Sampradaya Mat will come in picture. Prabhupada talks about Vedic Varnashram in general, and in general, Vedas or scriptures talk about these things. But when you have to execute in a certain way within your own Sampradaya, then there are guidelines by later acharyas, like Gopal Bhatt Goswami, and then Bhakti Vinod and Bhakti Siddhanta, Prabhupada finally in that particular manner. Yes, so although we are followers of Vedas, but we are not followers of Varnashrama exactly, Vedic Varnashrama. That's one of the purposes that we want to accomplish. But we are Vaishnavas, we are actually Pauranikas. And within that, you can say we are Vaishnavas, we are Vedantis. We don't belong to the Karmakant sect, we belong to the Vedanta sect. And within that, the Vaishnava Vedanta sect. So we have typical rituals which are sometimes different from traditional Vedic Varnashram and all that. So for a Grihastha also, what should be followed by him exactly in terms of all the technical details?
10 samskaras.
I am, especially samskaras and also.
Oh,
Yeah, bro, I am also exploring the topic. I would be able to answer that in some time at least. Hare Krishna. Okay, Chaitanya Prasad. Yeah.
We say Dwapare Paricharyayam, how Krishna as a Yuga's dharma, how he showed it. He's doing dhyana also, archana also. So how he emphasized or showed it?
Jiva Goswami mentions in one place, I think in Krishna Sandarbha, that that can be connected to his instructions to Uddhava on deity worship.
Oh.
Yeah. He says that actually for Krishna, Krishna is not Yugavatar, right? Krishna is not Yugavatar. Krishna is Purna Purushottam Bhagwan. And it's just that when he comes in the 28th Divya Yuga, he happens to also cancel the role of Yugavatar and do it himself, like that. Basically, then he is the one. But Yugavatar and the function of Yuga is very gone thing for Krishna. And that is Jiva Goswami's opinion. It is extremely gone for him. His primary thing is Leela Purushottam. He is there to show the Leela aspect of Leela, like that. So now, before Krishna in Dwapar Yuga, the deity worship was there because that is considered to be the for the prominence of that particular yuga. It is there. But then when Krishna came, he also spoke about deity worship, elaborate instructions to Uddhava. And then it is also mentioned that after Krishna, Vajranam and all of them also established a lot of deity temples and all this way. And then he is also doing Archanam and he's also doing Dhyanam, all these other things he's showing everything. So at least as far as Jiva Goswami, he has put it on less important role only, Prabhu, this whole Yuga avatar thing.
But sometimes how do we answer this objection, Prabhu, that Yuga Avatara should come in the beginning of the Yuga? And of course, Krishna is also during his birth, the colors are indicated to show he's a Yuga Avatari and all. So he's also giving this Uddhava Gita instructions at the end of his manifest Leela. So how do we answer this?
That is how, Prabhu, the whole thing, this whole Yugavatar thing is downplayed only by our acharyas. We don't so much talk about Krishna coming as Yugavatar and doing the Paricharyas, preaching and all that. It is highly downplayed, in fact. I have seen in the books, in the commentaries, that they say, well, Krishna is Leela Purushottam, that's it. And then when he comes, in some part, he does also the function of Yuga Avatar, that's it. Like, so now that is anyway downplayed. It is anyway considered a gone part of his particular Leela. Our main thing is something else only. So that's why nobody has commented on things like, then why does he come in the end? Because that is anyway considered to be quite a minor thing in his pastime. So that's what I would say on that.
So is it that in other Divya Yugas he comes early and he does do something about it? Because he's a avatari here, he doesn't do something like that. You say?
Yeah, we can assume like that. It must be like that. I don't know, Prabhu. I mean,
Okay.
see, Yugavataras typically come in first Yuga Sandhya. That is spoken.
Mhm.
Typically, they are like that. So in
Mhm.
other yugas, the Yugavataras must be coming in first Yuga Sandhya. I mean, there is in the beginning Yuga Sandhya and then in the end. So they come in the first Yuga Sandhya. So this is also one reason why Krishna comes in second Yuga Sandhya actually. So
Mhm.
that's why this whole Yugavatar thing is not so much
Not
highlighted. Yeah, that way. So in other yugas, Yugavatar comes in first Yuga Sandhya. Well, that is appreciable. That is acceptable. No problem. This way.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
Prabhuji, one thing, like we used to hear that Yudhishthira Maharaj wants to get up, used to, after purifying himself, lot of charity used to give to Brahmanas. So is it the like norms for the king that they have to give lot of charity? Now here Lord Sri Krishna is giving some garland, some pan, he's giving. And he's also like a Dwarkadhish. Surely he's a prince. So, but I'm asking, he here it's not numbered like these many cows, these many gold he's giving. So how to understand this, Prabhuji? Means it's like because Dwarka was very rich, correct?
So it is mentioned, Prabhu, that many multiples of Badva. So 13,040 is Badva, and like this, many times. He is giving quite a good amount of cows in charity, and this is daily, Prabhu. This is daily. All those cows are decorated with gold, and the Brahmanas whom he is giving, they are also decorated with gold and fine silver dresses and all that. So it is quite a substantial charity, no doubt. Every day he is doing this. And it is mentioned multiples of Badvas. So now how many multiples, we don't know. It may be many multiples of Badva, right? It is not that he is giving only one Badva, which is 13,084. No, it is in multiples of Badva. So that way. So he is Dwarkadesh and he is giving a great charity, Prabhu, like that.
So all the expansion of Krishna is to give, correct?
Yeah, must be correct. Must be, no? Yes, each one of them is given. Because, yeah, it's not like only one Prakash is rising in the morning, others are sleeping till 8 o'clock. It won't be like that, isn't it? This was like his daily routine. He followed it. All that routine is followed till the time he comes to that Mahagopuram. So meaning all of them are following, all the forms are following this. So must be, yeah, just like whatever achintya, it is conceivable. But to some degree it is spoken, whatever can be conceived this way.
So, Prabhuji, in Vaishnava tradition, the charity after waking up, how Srila Prabhupada is given, like Mangalarti and like charity of holy name, charity of knowledge, we have understood that this is the highest thing.
Yeah.
So,
Especially Grahasthas, no, Prabhu. This is being spoken for Grahasthas. So Grahastha is supposed to give charity actually. Actual charity. It's not just charity of knowledge. Brahmana is supposed to give the charity of knowledge. Grahastha is supposed to give the charity of actually riches. The wealth or objects, all the things. These are the things which are seen, like food, wealth, riches, gold, money, and all that. And he can also give the charity of knowledge. Certainly, that can also be there.
we have heard that Srila Prabhupada used to say, means before eating, is to go out and call. So that we hear, but especially about this charity, every day going and calling, means giving the charity. This is here.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, Prabhu. Not everything in this can be practically followed as it is by Vaishnavas. So when it comes to leading our own life, Prabhu, we can understand these principles, but how we want to follow the life, we will follow our Acharya only. Srila Prabhupada only we will follow. How he wanted us to lead our lives, So we'll lead like that. So he wanted Grahastha devotees and all also either they have Mangalarti and all this program at their home, or they attend it in temple, and then they do a honest work, they earn an honest living, and then they also give part of their earning for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. They invite Vaishnavas for prasadam, they feed them. So all these things are there. So that is the way to follow. These are all traditional Vedic things, but when you have to put abhidheya, no, Prabhu, see, Sambandha Gyan is one, but abhidheya means it is always done as per the Acharya's guideline, the current Acharya's guideline. So knowledge may be there of many principles, details. The knowledge of Abhidheya may be there, knowledge of Sambandha may be there. But Abhidheya we follow, that is given by Acharya. Yeah, otherwise there will be a lot of confusion. Shastra says so many things. That,
Well, in the chat,
okay.
somebody says, means somebody asked something. One Badwa means 210757072. This is
That is not one Badwa, that is 107 into one Badwa. The number that is given there, 79, no? We just saw that verse, right? So, okay, that is another number. What is that? In Jiva Goswami's commentary, one Badwa is to okay. I didn't open the Sanskrit text. Let me check. No, actually, Jiva Goswami's commentary, one Badwa is this much. I don't. I will just see Sanskrit now. We can take a break. I don't think so. All of them agree very clearly on one Badwa is 13,084. So if this is coming, then there may be some confusion here of someone. So let me check commentary of 7 to 9. I'll just open the Sanskrit file and see. Meanwhile, we can take a break. After 15 minutes, we'll gather. So 12:25, 12:40, we will continue. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna. So we continue. So in this way, having heard about Lord's daily activities, and now there is a description of Lord's entering into Sudharma assembly, and then receiving the message there, one message from the captured kings, the kings who were captured from Jarasandha, and another message from Narad Muni. So that's the rest of the chapter. So in this section, some prayers of kings are there. They are very wonderful prayers. Just 4 or 5 prayers here in the message. Later, they also pray to the Lord when He actually delivers them. So I think we'll finish in about 1 hour. Yes. So we have finished till text 16, 17 onwards now. So Samapan Gopro, you can read. सुधर्माख्यम सभां सर्वैर वृष्णिभिः परिवारितः प्राविशद्यन्निविष्टानां न सन्त्यङ्क षडुर्मयः.
The Lord, attended by all the Vrishnis, would enter the Sudharma assembly hall, which protects those who enter it from the 6 waves of material life, dear king.
Okay. The question was there about that number, right? Jiv Goswami says that huge numbers, 21 crores, 7 lakhs, that number. Well, that number is Prabhu 13,084. That is 1 Badwa into 16,108. So because that 13,184 cows were given in all 16,108 palaces. So if you multiply 16,108 with 13,084, it will come to that number. All right, bro, clear? That was the total amount, minimum amount of cows that he donated daily. That was, so it's quite a number. 21 crores is no way less. It is a huge number, an inconceivable number, in fact. Like this, he is donating daily those many number of cows. So I had just seen that everyone agrees on Badwa, but yeah, basically it is Badwa into 16,108. So that number, that's how I had to relook at the number, how that it came. Okay, no problem. So Sudharmakhyam Sabham Sarve. So after this, leaving his palaces, Lord came to Sudharma assembly, and then he would enter Sudharma assembly surrounded by all the Vrishnis. Till the time Lord came and entered Sudharma assembly, nobody else would enter, including Ugrasena also. Although Ugrasena was like the king of, he was given that post as the king. But then nobody would enter Sudharma without Krishna first entering it. So they waited till the time Krishna came, and then after Krishna came, then surrounded by him with all music and instruments and so much of Brahmanas doing Veda mantra and Jaya Ghosh, like that, then they would enter Sudharma assembly. And Sudharma assembly is described as Yan Nivishtanam na Santyanga Shadurmayah. Anyone sitting in the assembly would never experience any urmi, any of the 6 urmis. Urmis, waves or whips, like that. So hunger, thirst, Kshut, Pipasa, Shoka, Moha, Janma, Mrityu. These are the 6, not Janma Mrityu, Jara Mrityu, sorry, Jara Mrityu. These are the 6 urmis. These are the 6 waves, or sometimes even 6 bhips they are called. So anyone who sat there, they did not experience these things, meaning people did not feel any hunger or thirst when they were there in Sudharma assembly. So this was brought from heaven directly. When Krishna was constructing Dwaraka, Vishwakarma and Krishna. So that time Krishna had decided that from here, from this place he will bring this, from this place he will bring that. So he had brought a lot of things from different places because he wanted best in Dwaraka. So Sudharma assembly was actually brought directly from heavens straight away. Some people were not happy there that he was taking away Sudharma, but then still Yadavas and Krishna were so powerful. And obviously the sages were happy. Narada was happy, and all the sages were happy. Brahaspati was happy that yes, the best for the Lord. So Sudharma assembly was brought from heavenly planet actually, and it was established right in the middle of Dwaraka as the house where all the ministers and all of them would gather for running the administration. So that was it. And there nobody experienced, when one was sitting in that place, then nobody would experience any hunger or thirst. Otherwise, in meetings, eating is very primary, right? In meetings, people become hungry very much. So there was no hunger, thirst experienced in that Sudharma assembly. No shoka and moha also, and no lamentation and illusion. And no person sitting there would not age, no old age, and no death also. There, sitting there, you would not die. That was the characteristic of Sudharma that was brought over there. So sometimes in modern times they want to make workplace into Sudharma assembly, right? So they want to keep all canteen with multiple cuisines. One of my old friends recently met me, so he works with Microsoft, and he was telling that in company these. So I mean, I just discussed with him few things, like, so he was telling, huge canteens they have in workplace, in office, and in that multiple cuisines also, not like you can have just one menu. No, multiple cuisines from various all over the world, various dishes you can have. And all these things like coffee and all beverages, that was a common thing way back, even when we worked. That was it. So they don't want employees to feel hunger and thirst. They also want to get rid of hunger and thirst. And then there is a gym also, he was telling, so that health is, you can even do exercise there. Gym is there. There is a hospital also, sort of small clinic hospital. So you can get rid of your any disease or anything like that. So they want to make it into some sort of Sudharma only, without knowing. But then it is full of, I was speaking that it is full of shock and more. That's the point. That workplace may be full of shoka and moha. Lot of lamentation and illusion is there. And that's why, yeah, people are not happy in spite of earning huge money and all, right? Because that can never satisfy. So here was Lord's workplace, or you can say that parliament, Sudharma assembly, which was naturally free from all these six Urmis that was there. So Lord would enter with all the devotees in that assembly. In this regard, Sridhar Swami and Vishwan Chakravarti explain that when Lord Krishna would exit separately from each of many palaces, each individual form would be visible to persons present on those particular palace grounds and to the neighboring residents, but not to others. Then at the gateway path of Sudharma assembly, all the forms of the Lord would merge into a single form. Gateway path means actually at the exit Gopuram itself. At the exit Mahagopuram of Antapuras, Lord will merge into one form. All the forms would merge into one form. And then that's how he would enter into Sudharma. So when he is entering Sudharma, there is only one form. Tatropavishta paravasane vibhur babhav svabhasa kakubho vabhasayan Vruto nrsimher yathodu rajo divitaraka ganai. Yes, but Samapan ko Prabhu, you have to read translation. Text 19.
Yes, Priyam.
18. 18.
As
18.
the Almighty Supreme Lord would sit himself upon his exalted throne, there in the assembly hall, he shone with his unique effulgence, illuminating all the quarters of the space, surrounded by Yadus, lions among men. The best of the Yadus appeared like the moon amidst many stars.
So Lord appeared like Yatha Udurajo Divitargati. He was like Uduraj. He was like moon surrounded by beautiful Yadus, powerful, virtuous Yadus. Tatropamantrinno Rajan Nana Hasya Rasair Vibhum Upatasthur Natacharya Nartakyastandavai Prathak.
And there, O king, jesters would entertain the Lord by displaying various comic moods. Expert entertainers would perform for him, and female dancers would dance energetically.
Yeah, so although they were there for administration there, but also for Lord's pleasure and for the pleasure of the Yadus, there were many upamantris, jesters, clowns, those who are very good at comedy. And they would delight the Lord with many wonderful hasya rasas, the humors of joking and all that. Similarly, there were many natacharyas, expert entertainers. They would speak, they would perform dramas and all on various pastimes of the Lord, also on various histories of the great kings and all that. Nartakis, the female dancers were there by their dances. They would also entertain the Lord and all of that. Mridanga Veena Muraja Venutala Darasvanai Nanutrucha Gushtushtushcha Sutamagada Vandinaha.
This performance would dance and sing to the sounds of mridangas, veenas, murjals, flutes, cymbals, and conch shells, while professional poets, chroniclers, and panegyrists would recite the Lord's glories.
Yeah. Sutamagada Vandinas. Sutas are those who are very expert in Puranas, Pauranikas. Magadas are very expert in aspects of Vamsha Shamsakas. They are said to be very expert in genealogy and like that. And Vandis are like proper, professional panegyrists, those who are Stutyakars, those who are able to glorify wonderful deeds of the king or whomever they are glorifying. So these are all different expertises, Suta, Magad, Vandis. Tatrahu Brahmana Kechid Asina Brahmavadinah Purvesham Punyashasam Radnyam Cha Kathayan Katha.
Some Brahmanas sitting in that assembly hall would fluently chant Vedic mantras, while others recounted stories of past kings of pious renown.
Yeah, so some Brahmanas also who were expert in these things. So now there is this episode of a messenger coming to the Lord and recounting that how Jarasandha needed to be punished because he had captured 20,000 kings. Tatrekaha Purusho Rajan Agato Purva Darshanaha Vidnyapito Bhagavate Pratiharai Praveshitaha.
One person arrived in the assembly, O king, who had never been seen there before. The doorkeepers announced him to the Lord and then escorted him inside.
Yeah, on one particular day, it happened that a person arrived there in the assembly and he was never seen before. Apurva Darshana. Nobody had seen him before. He was a new person, messenger. So when Lord was informed about him, so Lord invited him inside to meet. He was escorted inside. Who was he? Sa namaskritya Krishnaya Pareshaya Kritanjalihi Ratnyam avedayat dukkham jarasandha nirodhajam.
That person bowed down to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and with joined palms, he described to the Lord how a number of kings were suffering because Jarasandha had imprisoned them.
Yeah, so that person was a messenger from the kings that were captured by Jarasandha for his sacrifice that he wanted to do to Mahabhairava. So this messenger was coming from their side. Having bowed down to Krishna and then folding his hands, he spoke about the distress that these kings were undergoing. Jarasandha Nirodhajam. Jarasandha had captured all these kings. And then that's why their message was sent through this messenger. Yeah, Arjuneshwar, what's the matter?
Roji, here we see that the kings they used to sit in the court, and the poets were there, brahmanas were there, dancers were there, musicians. So we see in the outside world now also, like people have television. Though there are some advertising industry or they show the some foul things, but they also like to entertain their lives. Correct?
Hmm.
Now
Yeah.
here the king is sitting with all his subjects and enjoying. What about the other people like citizens? How their daily chores used to be or their entertainment used to be earlier?
Uh, See, basically, the whole description is centered around the Lord. There must have been so many other avenues where even the citizens are entertained. There must have been avenues like in the evenings and all. Typically, there would be a lot of dramas in many of the places. And we hear about within the palaces themselves, there were so many of these people who were available. This was more focused from the aspect of Sudharma assembly, that within Sudharma assembly also, for all these administrators, these things also were there. They did their jobs and then they left, and then the ministers would discuss about the whole political matter. Not like all these people were sitting throughout there, no, but that point that yes, they were all encouraged, they were all able to render their service. So it's a different topic. Yeah, the citizens also must be entertained in many other ways and all. So what is the point? I mean, what do
Yeah,
you
I
want
meant to
to
say,
ask?
Prabhuji, I meant to say like nowadays people watch television or people watch YouTube, so they also entertain. They are entertaining. Surely there is a foul thing, but I'm saying ki entertainment was a part of their lives.
Yeah.
How the kings used to entertain them, but it was in earlier days. It was like natural Vedic arts, Vedic music. These things were there. Now these are replaced by the in Kali Yuga. These things are already not there. So then these things are more like experimented by the people, in passionate way, in ignorant way, like that. So they are trying to enjoy in that way.
Yeah, so as much as possible, effort can be done to educate them so that they can do some enlightened entertainment, not some ignorant or worse still, is sinful entertainment like that. So yeah, so that's the job of preachers. Yes. Ye cha digvijaye tasya sannatimna yayurnapa prasahya ruddha stenasan ayute dve giri vraje.
20,000 kings who had refused to submit absolutely to Jarasandha during his world conquest had been forcibly imprisoned by him in the fortress named Giribraja.
Yeah, this Jarasandha, as you all know, was a very powerful person. He had strength of 10,000 elephants. 10,000 elephants seems to be quite a measure, right? Kamsa was having 10,000 elephant strength, Jarasandha
Yeah.
also, Dvivida also, so many of them. So this person was very powerful and he wanted to sacrifice, make a human sacrifice actually of 100,000, 100,000 kings. He wanted to make a human sacrifice to Mahabhairava. And that's why he was capturing kings from all over the world. So just as one captures animals for slaughtering, he was capturing the kings. He was like that powerful. And by doing that Mahabhairava Yagya, he thought that he would be able to get blessings of Mahabhairava and thus become the king of the entire or emperor of the whole world. He was not for doing some sacrifices like Rajasuya and all. He wanted to do this with this Mahabhairava sacrifice, which was very ghastly, and human sacrifice in that, which was also like disapproved by many. But then he was very powerful. When Yudhishthir Maharaj wanted to do Rajasuya Yagya, Mahabharat mentions that almost 83% of the world's kings were under Jarasandha. 83%. So they were under Jarasandha straight away. So Lord Krishna said to Yudhishthir that what is this Rajasuya that you are doing? When Jarasandha is alive, what is the meaning of that Rajasuya? It is meaningless actually. Because practically he is controlling all the kings. So that's how it was decided that, yes, Jarasandha has to be killed if Yudhishthiraj Rajasuya has to succeed. That's why first then they decided to, Lord Krishna first went to certainly to Yudhishthir to begin with the proceedings of Rajasuya, but then it was a huge thing, right? It was going on for some days. So then within that, they needed to conquer also this personality Jarasandha, because practically he was controlling, so many kings. So although Lord Krishna had defeated him so many times and he had finished off his armies also, but still, because he was alive, he was certainly again gathering armies and becoming powerful, and so much so that he had captured 20,000 kings by then, with a target of capturing 1 lakh kings so that he can do this sacrifice. So those who refuse to accept his sovereignty and pay him tribute, they were captured by him, or they were, either you give a great tribute, or then he would just capture them and take them to offer the sacrifice. That's it. That was Jarasandha. Okay, I wish to go ahead now. I will take the questions in the end because I'm just worried that we should finish this. The prayers of kings may take a little bit time. Okay, so you can ask question in the end. Text 25. Okay, so now we come here. Rajana Uchu Krishna Krishna Aprabeyatman Prapanna Bhayabhanjana Vayam Tvam Sharanam Yama Bhavabhita Prithakdhiyah. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. The king said, as related through their messenger, O Krishna, Krishna, O immeasurable soul, destroyer of fear for those surrendered so to you. Despite our separatist attitude, we have come to you for shelter out of fear of material existence.
Yeah. So the messenger is reading the message written or spoken by the Rajas, the kings. Krishna, Krishna. So there is a repetition. Vipsa is there. It is called Vipsa in Sanskrit. So Vipsa is for Dainya. Vipsa is showing the desperation. The words of them are showing desperation. Krishna, Krishna, somebody says twice, so it is showing a great desperation that they are in. Aprameyatman, Krishna is immeasurable. Krishna's activities, Krishna's nama, rupa, guna, it is unlimited. So he is known as Aprameyatma. He is immeasurable. Prapanna Bhayabhanjana, and you are the one who destroys the fear of those who are surrendered unto you. Bhanjana, Prapanna Bhayabhanjana. So, Vayam Tvam Sharanam Yamo. We are actually coming to your shelter, O Krishna. Bhavabhita, because we are so much fearful of the material suffering, especially material existence. Especially the suffering that is caused by Jarasandha. And that suffering also awakened them to understand their own precarious condition. So Bhavabhitaha, here means that this great suffering of the material existence that has brought to us to your lotus feet, Krishna. So if Krishna were to say to them, why did you not worship me before? Where were you before all these days? You never remembered me. So then they are saying, Prathak Dhiyaha. Yeah, my Lord, we were having this separatist vision. We thought ourselves to be independent of you. We thought ourselves to be not needing you. So because of that separatist vision, meaning they wanted themselves to be separate from the Lord, they were not worried about subservience to the Lord, remembering the Lord, and they were into their own pride of kingly glory and all that. So that's why we never came to your shelter. But my Lord, now the fear of samsara and the fear caused by this Jarasandha has brought us to your lotus feet. And please, now that we have surrendered to your lotus feet, so please don't neglect us. You are the one who destroys the fear of those who are surrendered. So please destroy our fear also. So in desperation, they are speaking to Krishna this way. So 6 verses are basically mentioning the message of the kings. So in this first entreaty, Krishna, please destroy our fear. That entreaty is spoken in the first verse. Next 5 verses, they speak within that. Next 3 verses express that fear of the material existence that they have. And then last 2 verses, they ask Lord for freedom from this fear by releasing them. So just 6 verses, but they carry very wonderful emotions of Sharanagati. Loko vikarmani ratah kushale pramattah karmanyayam twadudite bhavadarchane sve yasta vadasya balavani hajivitasham sadyashchinatyanimishaya namostu tasmai.
People in this world are always engaged in sinful activities and are thus bewildered about their real duty, which is to worship you according to your commandments. This activity would truly bring them good fortune. Let us offer our obeisances unto the all-powerful Lord, who appears as time and suddenly cuts down one's stubborn hope for a long life in this world.
Yeah. So why did you not do my bhajan all this time? If Krishna asks this question to them, right? They are coming to Krishna's lotus feet now. So if Krishna were to ask them, okay, where were you all this time? Why did you not do my bhajan all this time? And now why do you want to do my bhajan? Why you want to come to me right now? So they are answering this objection by saying, Loko vikarma nirataha. My Lord, we did not do your bhajan because I am lokaha. We, all of us, the living entity in this world, which is vikarma nirataha, which we were just engaged in vikarma actually. We were not even engaged in punya karma. We were just behind worldly things, worldly enjoyment of, happiness in royal household life and all such things. We were vikarma nirataha. And that's why kushale pramattaha. We never thought about the kushala. We never thought about actually the wonderful spiritual instructions that you have given. Tvadudite bhavadarchane pramattaha. Actually, you have spoken about worshipping you, bhavadarchane, but we were never ever interested in those things. Kushale pramattaha. In that kushala, in that thing which is for our own benefit, we were pramatta, we were inattentive. We were pramatta in kushalam, we were inattentive in spiritual life, but we were nirata in vikarma. We were very active in worldly pleasures. We were just pleasure mongers for worldly things. So that is how, Lord, we see that we have been very much attentive to your bhajan. And if we were involved in vikarma, then what to speak of punya karma, and then what to speak of yoga jnana, and then what to speak of bhakti? You can imagine how far we are situated, because we were engaged in just vikarma. And you are asking, I mean, if Lord were to ask like that why did you not do my bhajan? Oh Lord, we were so much far away from your bhajan. We were not even on the platform of some good pious kings like that. This is how. So this is the point. Bhavadarchane sve, the worship of your lotus feet that you have taught, that you have spoken, which is for our own benefit. In those activities, we were never ever interested. We were pramatta, inattentive in that. Kushale karmani pramattaha. In those activities where we were extremely inattentive, like that. But then, my Lord, you are so merciful. You are so merciful that although we were not doing that swadharma of ours, Sve shows that it is our swadharma actually. Bhavad Archana is our swadharma. Whether I am Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, whoever you are, Krishna's worship is the highest dharma. All other is secondary. It is just temporary for that varna and ashrama. But Sanatan dharma and Jaiva dharma is actually Krishna's worship. So that's why the word is Sve. So Jiva Goswami says that this is Swadharma for everyone. It overrides everything else. It overrides all other instructions of even great people like Yajnavalkya or Shandilya or Manu or whatever. The Varnashrama dharmas. So that is Sve Bhavadarchanaya. Sarva dharman parityaja. Instructions like that. Or Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. These are overriding everything else. So we were so much in Vikarma that we were not doing our Swadharma in that manner. But my Lord, in this way, when we were Pramatta, your attentive form, we were inattentive, but your one form is very attentive. That form is Animesha. That form is Kala. So, although we were inattentive, we were into our own, cocoon of material enjoyment, but your ever alert time, that had shown us now that how Balavan he is. And that's why Tavadasya Balavan Iha Jivitasham Sadhya Chinati. That time has appeared, and it is now even taking away our hope to live. Jivitasham Sadhya Chinati. Now we are in such a pathetic condition by influence of your time that we don't have even hope to live. Probably we will, unless and until you save us, we will not even live. We will die. So actually, this is done by you only, my Lord. We understand this is your time. And now we realize our mistake, that why did we not worship you right from beginning? So now we have understood how Balwan is the time, and all our pramattata is gone now. Your powerful time has awakened us. It has woke us up. And now we realize, oh, why did we not worship the Supreme Lord? You see, this intoxication of material life is destroyed. We were pramatta, we were inattentive, we were intoxicated, but Kala is animisha. He never blinks his eye. Lord is known as animisha. He never blinks his eye. So your Kala Rupa is animisha. It never blinks the eye. And that's how we have been now brought to the wakefulness by this influence of Kala. Namostu Tasmai. We offer our obeisances. See, we don't criticize this Kala, my Lord. We don't condemn this Kala. No, we offer obeisances to that Kala. it has awakened us. It has shown us our precarious condition in this world, so that now at least we take shelter of your lotus feet. You see how wonderfully they are praying to the Lord through these words. So that sway thing is connected to this verse. That's why it is quoted, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yat johoshiya. Whatever it is, whatever you do, Krishna says is that do it for my pleasure. This way. So that is that sway. Everything is for Krishna's pleasure. Of course, we know that this is also still, I mean, whatever you do, more important than that is you accept what Lord wants you to do. Whatever you do, still here is some sense of varnashram here. If you have read commentaries of this verse also, you must be remembering Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti has shown that how this verse is different. I think this is 9:26 and 27 is Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Or whatever you can just see. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. That's what is talking more about your devotional service. While this verse is still allowing some sort of varnashrama thing that, okay, whatever you do. No, devotee thinks, okay, what Lord wants me to do. That's how. So there is scope for, of course, individual taste and individual likings in bhakti also, but it is always under instruction. It is always under approval. The spiritual master may see a devotee's abilities and bless him to continue in that service. So that is different than varnashrama, where one is taking that identification and one sticks to that identification. Paradharmo bhayavaha, that sort of thing that is a classic varnashram idea. Paradharmo bhayavaha. So bhakti is where the sarva dharman parityaja, manmana bhava mad bhakto, that overrides everything else. Although within bhakti there can be scope for varnashram, but it is only with approval of spiritual master, approval of spiritual authorities. That's the point. And if the spiritual authorities want Vaishnava to serve in some other way, a Brahmana to serve in Kshatriya way, he will do it. A Varnashrami will never do that. First of all, he will never receive such an instruction. And even if it is received, very fact of Varnashrama dharma means paradharmo bhayavaha. One never gives up his own Varna and Ashrama. Like that. So there's a huge difference between bhakti and Varnashrama, that's why. And here that sway word is highlighting that aspect of how, my Lord, everything is overriding actually. That you speak is overriding everything else. So that's why we actually did not take it seriously. We were into our own pool of enjoyment, and now your time has awakened us so wonderfully. They say like that. So that's why we are now coming to shelter of your lotus feet. Please don't reject us. Loke bhavan jagadina kalayavatirnaha sadrakshanaaya khala nigrahanaya chanyah kaschit tvadiyamati nideshamisha kim va jana swakritam richati tanna vidmaha.
You are the predominating Lord of the universe and have descended into this world with your personal power to protect the saintly and suppress the wicked. We cannot understand, O Lord, how anyone can transgress your law and still continue to enjoy the fruits of his work.
Yeah. In fact, we are not able to understand two things, my Lord. They say that although you are here now, who has appeared in this world, Jagadinaha, which means you are the controller of the whole world, Jagadishwara, and Kalaya Avatirna, you have manifested here along with your Baladev expansion. Why have you manifested? Sadarakshanaya, for protecting the pious, Khalanigrahanaya, and also for killing the or controlling, punishing the wicked. For this purpose you have come. So how is that, my Lord? Anyah kaschit vadiyam atiyati. How is that some other person some wicked person is able to overpower or rather disregard your sovereignty? How is that someone else is able to disregard, your control? Who is that some other person? Here, yes, Chaitanya Prasad Prabhu, who is that? Anyah.
Jarasandha.
Jarasandha, exactly. Anyah kaschit tvadiyam atiyati. How can somebody else like that disregard you, atiyati, transgress your sphere of control, nidesham, your law, your sphere of influence? Hey Isha, kim va janah swakritam richati tanna vidmaha. And also, how is that uh, the saintly persons who are troubled by this Jarasandha, how is that they are suffering? Although you are here along with Baladeva, these two things we are not able to understand. Tanna vidmaha. We don't understand this, why it is happening like this. So one thing is what? How is Jarasandha able to control and trouble others? And how is that those who are saintly persons and all that, they are undergoing suffering, when you are around here this way? So are they saying that they are the saintly persons? No, they're not saying that. They're not talking about themselves. They are talking about other people or other kings who were probably, who were saintly also, and how they are being troubled by this Jarasandha. We are not able to understand. Or this verse is also, it can mean that Kimva Janah Swakritam Richati, or is it that Jarasandha is reaping the benefit of his past karma? In that case, the question is only one with two aspects in it. Is it, we don't understand how person like Jarasandha is transgressing your law, and we don't understand how is he able to do it. Is it that he is reaping the benefit of his prior good karma in that way? Or they also mean to say Kimva Jana Swakritam Richati means, and we are suffering, although we have surrendered unto your lotus feet now, but how are we suffering? Is it that after surrendering to your lotus feet also a jiva has to suffer? We are confused, we are bewildered. Even after surrendering to your lotus feet, is it that we have to suffer because we are suffering the past life? We are suffering due to our vikarma that we have done in the past. You see, So then we were thinking that what can the karma do once somebody surrenders to your lotus feet? So is it that even after we surrender to your lotus feet, that one has to suffer his own karma? We don't understand. We are confused on this. Please help us understand and please act on this. So you understand what they are saying is that in a way that they are instigating Krishna, that how can someone like Jarasandha disregard your authority? And they're also trying to tell Krishna that how Jarasandha has caused such a great distress to people, distress to even saintly persons, and also you, please protect. And we have also now surrendered unto you, although we are not saintly people, that they will say in the next verse that we are neither saintly people nor we are claiming anything like that. But they say that now that we have surrendered, so the point of saying that, how is that after surrender also one has to suffer his own karma? The point is there of instigating Krishna to act. They know that if one surrenders unto Krishna, and that too when Krishna is there personally, it will be certain that Krishna will deliver them. But they are inspiring Krishna to act. So within their words, although they say that na vidmaha, we don't understand, they want to say that actually, my Lord, we understand that once somebody takes shelter of yours, you will surely destroy their suffering. So it will happen. And that's how they are speaking to him, to instigate him to action. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur states that the kings could not understand how Jarasandha, who harassed the saintly devotees and nourished envious, would continue to prosper. So was he reaping the benefit of Swakritam? Similarly, Srila Prabhupada quotes the kings as follows in Krishna. Dear Lord, you are the... Okay, maybe Prabhu, you can read this. Prabhupada's words.
Yellow and this word.
Yellow, yeah, just yellow.
Yellow. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada quotes the king as follows in Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dear Lord, you are the proprietor of all worlds and you have incarnated yourself along with your plenary expansion, Lord Balram. It is said that your appearance in this incarnation is for the purpose of protecting the faithful and destroying the miscreants. Under the circumstances, how is it possible that miscreants like Jarasandha can put us into such deplorable conditions of life against your authority? We are puzzled at the situation and cannot understand how it is possible. It may be that Jarasandha has been deputed to give such trouble because of our past deeds. But we have heard from revealed scriptures that anyone who surrenders and your lotus feet is immediately immune to the reactions of his sinful life. We therefore offer ourselves wholeheartedly unto your shelter, and we hope that your Lordship will now give us full protection.
Yeah, so you can understand. And they know that once somebody takes shelter of Lord's lotus feet, yes, then he will protect. And with that, they are speaking. Swapna itam nripa sukham paratantra misha shashwat bhayena mritakena dhuram vahamaha hitva tadatmani sukham tvadaniha labhyam klesha maheti kripana stava maya geha.
Oh Lord, with this corpse-like body, always full of fear, we bear the burden of the relative happiness of kings, which is just like a dream. Thus, we have rejected the real happiness of the soul, which comes by rendering selfless service to you. Being so very wretched, we simply suffer in this life under the spell of your illusory energy.
Yeah. So after saying that, we don't understand, my Lord, how can this happen? So if Lord were to say, I'm speaking all these objections and all on the basis of Vishwanath Chakravarti's comment. You are asking this question, but then who you are? Who do you think you are? You are asking this question, oh, why are the saintly people suffering? So are you saintly or what? You are yourself? Are you my devotees? Or are you the evil ones? Who are you exactly? So they say we are neither actually. We are not your devotees, neither we are the evil beings like Jarasandha. We are samsarikas who are suffering. We are actually ordinary people on the path of birth and death that we are suffering. And we have wasted our life without worshipping you. Swapna itam nripasukham paratantram isha shashwat bhayena mritakena dhuram vahamaha. Actually, vahamaha, we have been carrying this false conception that we are kings. And now we have realized that it was swapna itam. It was actually like a dream. The whole thing was like a dream. We thought, oh, we are great kings and we have queens and we have this and we have wealth and this and that. But whole thing was like a dream. It just ended, finished. Jarasandha captured us and now we are about to die. So the whole thing was swapna itam. Nripa sukham. Paratantram. And even when we were not captured, suppose, when we were living peacefully as a king, it was paratantram. Means what? That whole kingship is dependent on army, on the ministers, on amatyas, on the people who are acting like spies. So this nripa sukham is paratantram. It is dependent on so many others. See, they are going to contrast it with Atma Sukha. They're going to contrast it with Bhakti Sukha. That's why they are speaking these things. Swapna itam, paratantram, and Shashvat bhayena mritakena. And this particular pleasure, it is basically on the false platform of considering ourselves as body, that body which is mritaka, which is always dead, and which is shashvat bhaya, it is always surrounded by actually the fear, right? Uh, the fear of disease, the fear of getting injured, the fear of so many bodily issues, right? Adhis, vyadhis, and all that. So we were thinking that we had this great Nrupasukham, this great pleasure of king, but you see, it had these qualifiers, it had these dushanas of swapnaitam, paratantram, and shashvat bhayena mritakena saha. Uh, so it was literally dhuram. It was literally a burden, actually. Uh, this kingship was a burden. Now we realize. We had to keep it in so many ways. We had to do sandhi, meaning we had to fight wars. We had to also accept treaties. Uh, so many things. It was actually quite a great burden that we carried. Uh, Although we were in illusion thinking, oh, this is pleasure, this is wonderful. But now with one stroke of your time, we realize that it was all like a dream. So our unfortunate condition that hitva tadatmani sukham twadaniha labdhyam. So this pleasure nripa sukham is contrasted with atmani sukham. We gave up or we disregarded, we did not care about that atma sukh, that pleasure of bhakti, that pleasure, transcendental pleasure, which is actually not swapnaitam, it is real. It is not paratantram. It is within the heart. It is based on Lord's Nam Rup Guna Leela. It is not dependent on externals. It is inward pleasure. It is a real pleasure. It is inward pleasure. And it is based on the platform of soul. It is not marked by this bodily identification like that. So that particular pleasure in this way is highly contrasted with the material pleasure. But the thing was tvad aniha labdhyam. That particular pleasure is actually achieved by the worship of your lotus feet in a nishkama manner. Tvad aniha. Iha means the desire. Aniha. Without having any desires. So we understood that actually this pleasure is available if we worship you without any desire, without any material desires. Tvadaniha labhyam. So now we realize what the sages were speaking about and what devotees speak about and what Shastras speak about, that this wonderful pleasure of spiritual life, devotional service, we disregarded, we did not care about it, and we were interested in our own kingly pleasures. And that's why, my Lord, we are samsarikas actually. We are materialistic people. We are not devotees. We agree. Klishamahe. That's why we are suffering in this world. Atikripanaha. We are into a very condition which is extremely wretched. So, indeed, my Lord, we have been fooled by your Maya. We have been fooled by your material energy. And thus we are suffering because we disregarded joy of the spiritual life. So we are these wretched souls, and we really request you, my Lord, that you bestow your mercy upon us. So purport also says kings herein admit that they are suffering because of their own foolishness. They are not putting that suffering blame on anyone. They know that they were suffering because of their own unfortunate condition of disregarding spiritual life and just running behind temporary material pleasure. Tanno bhavan pranata shoka harangri yugmo baddhan viyungshama gadha vaya karma pashat yo bhu bhujo yuta matangaja viryameko bibhradrurodha bhavane mrigarad iva vihi. So now they submit to the Lord their prayer.
Therefore, since your feet relieve the sorrow of those who surrender to them, please release us, us prisoners, from the shackles of karma. manifest as the king of Magad, wielding alone the prowess of 10,000 maddened elephants. He has locked up in his house just as a lion captures sheep.
Yeah. So, actually, we understand Jarasandha is not the real Bandhan. The real Bandhan is our own Karma Pasha. That Karma Pasha has appeared in the form of Jarasandha. Actually. This is what we understand. So, we know that you are the one who can release from this. You release us from this. Tanno Bhavan Pranata Shoka Harangri Yogmo. Whoever surrenders unto you, you drive away their lamentation. Your lotus feet are so glorious that they drive away the lamentation of whoever surrenders unto you. So please, my Lord, Baddhan Viyungshva, please free us, please release us from this captivity of Jarasandha. Maghada Vaya Karma Pashad. Actually, please release us from Jarasandha and please release us from Karma Pash. We no longer want to be just these kings who are mad for sense enjoyment. No, we want to be released from this Jarasandha, my Lord, and we also want to be released from this madness of karma, this karma pasha, shackles of pasha. So please come and release us. Yo bhu bhujo ayuta matangaja viryam. This person, if Lord were to say, why you are 20,000 of you, why don't you defeat him and come out yourself? No, he is having the strength of 10,000 elephants, my Lord. Ayuta matangaja viryam, like that. So that's why we cannot defeat him. And he alone, one man, he has defeated us, all of us, and he has captured us. He has incarcerated us into this jail, imprisoned us in his residence, just like a lion captures, or rather, yeah, lion captures sheep. So he is very powerful. We are not able to defeat him. Only you can do this, my Lord. So please release us. Last verse in this prayer. यो वै त्वया द्विनवकृत्व उदात्तचक्र भग्नो मृदे खलु भवन्तमनन्तवीर्यम् जित्वा नृलोकनिरतं सकृदोद्धदर्पो ऊढदर्पो युष्मत्प्रजा नोचित तद्विदेहि. Okay.
Oh, builder of the disk, your strength is unlimited. And thus 17 times you crushed Jarasandha in battle. But then, absorbed in human affairs, you allowed him to defeat you once. Now he is so filled with the pride that he dares to torment us, your subjects. O unconquerable one, please rectify this situation.
So in this last verse, with a very genuine heart, they also instigate Krishna by reminding him that how he had defeated him 17 times. Yovai tvaya dvinava, 9 into 2, 18. Yovai tvaya dvinava kritva udatta chakra. So although you defeated him in battle 17 times, but then this person, when you once left from the battlefield, when Rukmini's Swayamvar was there, I mean, when Rukmini was to be taken away from the Kaundinapur, so that time was the 18th time that Jarasandha had attacked, right? And all of you know that story. So Lord had that time, he ran away from the battlefield. He did not defeat Jarasandha because he spared that army, so that that army he wanted to defeat in front of Rukmini and impress Rukmini. That was the purpose. Why he did not defeat Jarasandha 18th time then and there itself when he attacked Mathura? Because he was knowing that I wish to defeat this Jarasandha and company when in front of my beloved Rukmini, so that she is very happy to see that how am I, I am ready to do so much for her. So that was the only reason why, I mean, apart from many other reasons. Jiva Goswami speaks 8-9 reasons why Lord ran away from the battlefield. But the chief reason he says was this, that Rukmini Harana Parakrama Kautukartham. He wanted all that army to be defeated in front of Rukmini and abduct Rukmini, thereby pleasing her that just see my lord how much he is taking trouble for me. And also he wanted to humiliate all of them in front of Rukmini, his queen, first queen, that way. So that is why he ran away from battlefield, and then he defeated also, right? All these Jarasandha and company reached there. So that time Lord defeated all of them. So that was the 18th time. So in this way, he has defeated him 18th time. But before that 18th defeat, he had run away from the battle. So that is where, Jarasandha, he saw that, okay, I have won Krishna, I have conquered Krishna, Jitwa, Sakrit, just once when Lord ran away, that too for some time, he later defeated only. But he has become so proud by that Udha Darpo. In fact, my Lord, he keeps on repeating that even Krishna ran away because, once only he has defeated, but still he keeps on saying those things that Krishna also, Haribol, keep yourself on Madhav Seva.
Madhav Seva Prabhu, Hari Bol.
Okay. So in this way, Nriloka Niratam, Krishna was doing that pastime because he wanted to do Manushya Leela. He just acted like a Manushya and he ran away from the battlefield. He wanted to enjoy some Manushya Leela. Sometimes human beings, they run away from the battlefield like that. But that is also like very secondary reason. A primary reason is that he spared the army to be defeated in front of Rukmini. So whatever. So in this way, Udha Darpo, just by that one Lord's running away, he has become so much proud. Yushmat praja ruchati no jitatat videhi. So my Lord, please, you break his pride. You break his pride and you please protect your praja, all of us. You are the only king of the world. So you please protect all of us, which is getting tormented by this king. Tad videhi. O Ajita, O unconquerable one, nobody can defeat you. And please, you conquer this Jarasandha and thus release all of us this way. So that's how they prayed. Srila Prabhupada expresses the king's feeling also. So Prabhupada also addresses that Nriloka Niratam. The appearance of defeat by Jarasandha in the 18th engagement is nothing but an exhibition of human behavior. Unfortunately, foolish Jarasandha could not understand your tricks, and he had since then become puffed up over his material power and prestige. Actually, Jarasandha is a great, motivational speaker and expert, because you can imagine after 18 times defeated also, he is keeping such a high motivation, right? He can be best motivational speaker in today's day, actually. Jarasandha. So he was like that. He was so foolish that although Krishna defeated him 18 times, but still he was thinking that he is powerful. He was powerful, no doubt, but at least not in front of Krishna, right? So, but he still thought that he will defeat Krishna. Certainly on one day he will defeat Krishna, he thought. So that's how the messenger passed the message. So now we can finish this chapter very quickly. It's not much. Duta uvacha iti magata samruddha bhavaddarsana kankshina prapanna pada mulante dinanam samvidhiyatam.
The messenger continued, "This is the message of the kings imprisoned by Jarasandha, who all hanker for your audience, having surrendered to your feet. Please bestow good fortune on these poor souls."
Yeah. See, they hanker for your audience. Bhavad darshana kankshina. So don't just arrange that Jarasandh will be killed. They are not expecting, my lord, that message. They are actually, they hanker for your darshana. So you may arrange to get this Jarasandh killed by someone, but they are Bhavad darshana kankshina. So please yourself, you my lord, you come and you please give them darshan. They're all prapanna, they have surrendered unto your lotus feet. So you please do this welfare, please bestow this greatest good on all these pitiable souls. Shri Shukovacha Rajadute Bruvattevam Devarshi Paramadyutihi Bibhrat Pinga Jatabharam Pradurasid Yatha Ravihi.
Sukdev Goswami said, when the king's messenger had thus spoken, the sage of the demigods, Narada, suddenly appeared, bearing a mass of golden matted locks on his head. The supremely effulgent sage entered like a brilliant sun.
Yeah. So the king's messenger had spoken, and at that time, once the message was delivered, so then that time, Narad Muni appeared over there. So Devarshi Narad, he came there, and Narad Muni is said to be Paramadhyutihi. He is very, very effulgent personality himself, right? And Bibhrat Pinga Jatabharam. Narad Muni's jatas are pinga. Narad Muni is a blonde. He has blonde hair. Narad Muni's jatas are blonde, not black. Pinga is, yeah, golden actually. Pinga Jatabharam. So Pradurasid Yatha Ravi, he appeared over there just like sun appears. So what was Narad Muni's purpose coming there? Tam drishtva Bhagavan Krishna sarvalokeshwareshwara vavanda utthita shirshna sasabhya sanugo muda.
Lord Krishna is the worshipable master of even planetary rulers like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Yet, as soon as he saw that Narad Muni has arrived, he joyfully stood up along with his ministers and secretaries to receive the great sage and offer his respectful obeisances by bowing his head.
Yeah, so Lord was naturally very happy. They all stood up and welcomed the Narad Muni. Sabha jayitva vidhivat kritasana parigraham babhashe sunater vakye shraddhayat tarpayan munim. Yes, Prabhu. Text 34.
After Narad had accepted the seat offered to him, Lord Krishna honored the sage according to the scriptural injunction, and gratifying him with his reverence, spoke the following truthful and pleasing words.
Yeah, so he spoke with these nectar words, Sunrite, Satyam, Priyam, Hitam, all that. He spoke with all those pleasing words. Apisvit adya lokanam trayanam akuto bhayam nanu bhuyan bhagavato lokan paryatato gunaha.
Lord Krishna said, it is certain that today the three worlds have been attained freedom from all fear, for that is the influence of such a great personality as you, who travel at will throughout all the worlds.
Yeah. Apisvid. So there is actually a question also here. It can be also seen as a question. Apisvid adya lokanam trayanam akuto bhayam. Is it, Narad Muni, is it true that all the three worlds are now free from fear? Is it, or he's asking Narad Muni, are the three worlds free from fear, Narad Muni? Any news, anything, any disturbance? Like that he is asking. Nanu bhuyan bhagavato lokan paryatato hari paryatato guna. Actually, your presence is so auspicious that wherever you travel, you will bring auspiciousness for them. So naturally, it will bring abhaya. But he is inquiring also from Narad Muni that how is it, Narad Muni? See, we cannot ask your kushalam. We cannot ask about your well-being. So I'm asking about the well-being of all the people. Trayanam lokanam akuto bhayam apisvit. Are the three worlds free from fear? In fact, because you travel, so we get all this news. Nanu bhuyan bhagavato lokan paryatato gunam. आपका बहुत बड़ा बेनिफिट है हम सबको कि इधर बैठे बैठे हमको पूरी दुनिया की न्यूज मिल जाती है. Like that he is saying to Narad Muni. This is your bhuyan gunaha. This is your great quality So Lord is he's not taking a dig at Narad Muni or like that. He really means it. That yes, actually, wherever you go, you bring the news from that place to us, and so that's how we get to know from the whole world uh, that that wonderful quality of yours because you travel. Nahite viditam kinchil lokeshu ishvara kartrishu atha pruchhamahe yushman pandavanam chikirshitam.
There is nothing unknown to you within God's creation. Therefore, please tell us what the Pandavas intend to do.
So Lord basically he asked Narad Muni directly what the Pandavas intend to do. So this shows that he basically is already knowing what Narada wants to tell, what's on his mind, uh, like that. He is saying that there is nothing unknown to you within God's creation. Uh, but here Lord is showing the Sarvajnata because he's directly asking, okay, so what Pandavas wish to do? Meaning he is basically asking Narada about, okay, what's the plan of Rajasuya and all, when is he planning to do it? Uh, is he planning to do it soon? So that's why Narad Muni had come, right? He had come to tell, yes, he is beginning the Rajasuya. He wants to begin the Rajasuya. Yudhishthir wants to begin Rajasuya. So you please go to Hastinapur. That's what he wants to tell. So Lord himself only asked him, what's there on the mind of Pandavas, especially Yudhishthir? Shri Narada Drishta Mayate Bahusho Duratyaya Maya Vibho Vishwasrajascha Mayinah Bhuteshu Bhumam Charata Svashaktibhir Vanner Iva Channa Rucho Namedbhutam.
Sri Narada said, I have seen many times the insurmountable power of your Maya, O Almighty One, by which you bewilder even the creator of universe Brahma. O all-encompassing Lord, it does not surprise me that you disguise yourself by your own energies while moving among the created beings, as a fire covers its own light with the smoke.
Yeah. So he's asking Narad Muni, although he is Sarvagya. So Narad Muni is saying that it is not surprising for me because I know that you play this role of a human being. You disguise yourself by your own energies. Uh, Narada understood here. Narada understood that Lord Krishna desired to kill Jarasandha and was thus beginning to arrange for his pastimes by inquiring from Narada about the Pandavas' intention. But Lord's intention was understood by Narada himself. And that's why he was not surprised when Lord was asking him. Tave hitam kor hati sadhu veditum swamayedam srijato niyachata yad vidyamana यद्विद्यमानात्मत यावभासते तस्मै नमस्ते स्वविलक्षणात्मने.
Who can properly understand your purpose? With your material energy, you expand and also withdraw this creation, which thus appears to have substantial existence. Obeisances to you, whose transcendental position is inconceivable.
Yeah, so he continues that actually who can understand what you desire to do, your purpose, korhati, who is qualified to understand your intentions actually. You are swavilakshanatmane. You are the one who has your own inconceivable, your own nature. But still, because you are inquiring me, I will tell. Uh, Jivasya yah samsarito, Jivasya yah samsarato vimokshanam, na janato narthavahat sharirata, lilavatare svayashah pradipakam, prajvalayatva tamaham prapadde.
The living being, caught in the cycle of birth and death, does not know how he can be delivered from the material body, which brings him so much trouble. But you, the Supreme Lord, descend to this world in various personal forms, and performing your pastimes, you illumine the soul's path with the blazing torch of your fame. Therefore, I surrender unto you.
Yeah. So, who can understand you? Who can understand your Maya, your Shaktis, and all that? So, but then you yourself have given opportunity to understand you by Swa Yashah Pradipakam. You perform all these leelas in your leela avataras, and your transcendental fame is actually like a lamp. So when we hear that transcendental fame, whatever, through hearing your pastimes or reading your pastimes from Shastras or witnessing those pastimes and all that. So in this way, you are actually, you make us qualified to understand you like that. Otherwise, what is the way to deliver the living entities? Jivasya samsarato vimokshanam na janat. Jivas don't understand how to get rid of samsara, but your pastimes you perform. That is why you perform these transcendental pastimes, where your fame is actually the one which will take us take one jiva beyond birth and death, right? Shunvanti gayanti grananti abhikshnash smaranti nandanti tavehitam jana. Taeva pashyanti achiryana tavakam bhava pravaho paramam padam. Right? Krishna's pastimes, they have, concomitant results of transcending the material world and also attaining his pleasure, attaining the love, actually, attaining the love for the Lord. So that's the point. Bhava Pravaho Paramam Padambujam. Your Padambujam, Kunti Devi also says that it gives the Mukhya Phala of Priti, of love for your lotus feet, and Gauna Phala of Samsara Vimokshanam also. So you perform these pastimes for that purpose. Athapya Ashravaye Brahma Naraloka Vidambanam Radnya Paitris Radnyaha Paitri Swashreyasya Bhaktasya Chikirshitam.
Nonetheless, O Supreme Truth, playing the part of a human being, I shall tell you what your devotee Yudhishthir Maharaj, the son of your father's sister, intends to do.
Yeah, what does he intend to do? Yakshati tvam makhendrena rajasuyena pandavah parameshtya kamo nripatis tadbhavan anumodatam.
Desiring unrivaled sovereignty, King Yudhishthir intends to worship you with the greatest fire sacrifice, the Rajasuya. Please bless his endeavor.
Yeah. So Yudhishthir, he had got this great wealth in Indraprastha, right? And then Mayadana and all of them, they had made these astounding palace like Mayasabha and all that. So in that wealth of Indraprastha and all, Yudhishthir was not very happy because he thought that all this wealth is belonging to Krishna actually. So I should worship the master of Shripati in this wealth that I have received. So his purpose was certainly to also declare the sovereignty, but declare that sovereignty in terms of he being the servant of Krishna. He wanted to show to the whole world that actually Krishna is the worshipable object of me. Krishna is he wanted to do Krishna's Agra Puja. So he wanted to declare and exhibit that glory of Sri Krishna to the whole world by performing this great Rajasuya sacrifice. And that's why Parameshtha Kamo, he is desiring that Parameshtham, which is for the purpose of showing Lord Krishna's greatness, actually. All that wealth and everything, it is for the purpose of Supreme Lord Parama. He is that Supreme Lord Krishna, and for his purpose, he wants to show that, okay, all this wealth you see, it belongs to Krishna. He is the master. He is the most important personality in Yudhishthir's life and every devotee's life. So, Tad Bhavan, Tad Bhavan Anumodatam, this way. So, the point over here is that King's Yudhishthir's purpose of performing the sacrifice was completely to glorify Krishna as the supreme worshipable object for the entire world. That was the purpose. Tasmin deva krito vare Bhavantam Vaisuradayah Ditrakshavah Sameshyanti Rajanascha Yashasvinah.
O Lord, exalted demigods and the glorious kings, eager to see you, will all come to that best of the sacrifices.
So the kings will come to the sacrifices, they will get darshan of the Lord, they will hear the glories of the Lord. So Yudhishthir thought that this was best Shrestha preaching that he can do, right? All the Shreshtas he is going to invite, glorious kings and everyone who have accepted sovereignty of Yudhishthir. And Yudhishthir wanted to show that how Lord is a worshipable master of his own. So that was the singular purpose. Shravanat Kirtanat Dhyanat Puyantente Vasayinah Tava Brahma Maheshesha Kimute Kumite Kshabhimarshinaha.
O Lord, even outcasts are purified by hearing and chanting your glories and meditating upon you, the absolute truth. What then to speak of those who see and touch you?
Yeah, if Lord were to say that, okay, then he can do Shravanam and Kirtanam of mine, right? They can understand my glory. No, let them also have your darshan, my Lord. If hearing and chanting itself is so purifying, so what to speak of when they will hear, they will get to see personally your lotus feet, and they will get your abhimarshana, meaning your touch. So there, if you will come, naturally so many kings, devotees, they will be able to touch your feet. They will be able to get your darshan. So that's why Yasya divi yasha prathitam rasayam bhumau chate bhuvana mangala digvitanam mandakiniti divi bhogavati ti chadho gangeti cheha charanam bupunati vishwam.
My dear Lord, you are the symbol of everything auspicious. Your transcendental name and fame is spread like a canopy all over the universe, including the higher, middle, and lower planetary systems. The transcendental water that washes your feet is known in the higher planetary system as the Mandakini River, in the lower planetary systems as the Bhogavati, and in the earthly planetary system as the Ganges. The sacred transcendental water flows throughout the universe, purifying wherever it goes.
Yeah, so there is in continuation with the last verse that your Shravanam, your Kirtanam, what to speak of your Darshanam and your Abhimarshanam, your touch, it will be so purifying to the whole world. Your lotus feet, the Ganges that has touched, the waters that have touched your lotus feet, they are purifying all the three worlds by being Mandakini River, Bhogavati, and also Ganges. So what to speak of your own presence, my God, when you will there, it will be so much Bhuvana Mangala. Shri Shukovacha, Tatra Teshvatma Paksheshu, Agranatsu Vijigishaya, Vachah Peshay Smayan Dhrityam, Uddhavam Praha Keshavaha.
Shukdev Goswami said, when his supporters, the Yadavas, objected to this proposal out of eagerness to defeat Jarasandha, Lord Keshava turned to his servant Uddhava and smiling addressed him with the fine words.
Yeah, so the messenger had come and he had spoken, and then he had left also. And there was some discussion that arose there, that emerged amongst the ministers and Krishna and all about, okay, so let's go and attack this Jarasandha, finish him off. Okay, so which all armies we need to take, and that sort of whole plan and preparation of attacking Jarasandha. What does he think of himself? He should be humiliated. This king should be released. And like that, the whole tumult was going on. And that's when Narad Muni had entered. So now when Narad Muni came and he is giving the proposal that Lord should go to Hastinapur first. So these kings, I mean, these ministers of Dwarka and all, uh, they felt that, oh, actually, first we should finish off Jarasandha. This Rajasuya thing can be done later also. Lord doesn't have to go right now. first we should finish off Jarasandha this way. So both the purposes could be accomplished. That is seen. That's how Uddhava does it now by advising the Lord. But as soon as they heard the proposal, they were thinking, the ministers, that okay, so this means that we are not going to go to kill Jarasandha. Oh, this is not good. We must set right this situation before. So that's how there was some discussion and objection to the proposal given by Narad Muni. So two parties were there. Some were saying, yes, we should go immediately because Yudhishthir is our very dear associate, a very dear relative. And others were saying that, no, we should go and kill Jarasandha immediately. So what should be done in this case? So Krishna naturally turned towards Uddhava, although he understands everything, but just he wanted to show Uddhava's brilliant ability in counseling in this situation. Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Tvam Hina Paramam Chakshu, Surin Mantrartha Tattvavid, Athatra Bruhi Anushteyam, Shraddhama Shraddadma Karavamatat.
The personality of God had said, "You are indeed our best eye and closest friend, for you know perfectly the relative value of various kinds of counsel. Therefore, please tell us what should be done in this situation. We trust your judgment and shall do as you say."
Yeah, so Lord said, we trust judgment. So Uddhava is the one who is considered most intelligent amongst all the Dwarka residents, right? So Lord, although of course Lord is Sarvagya, but he asked Uddhava, Iti upamantrito bhartra sarvadnenapi muktavat nidesham shirasadhaya Uddhava pratyabhashata.
Sukadeva Goswami continued, thus requested by his master, who, though omniscient, acted as if perplexed, Uddhava took this order upon his head and replied as follows.
So this is how does end the purports of humble servants of His Divine Grace Srila Swami Prabhupada to 10th Canto, 70th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Lord Krishna's Daily Activities. So Uddhava, then he is going to give the solution. He says that, well, actually, first we should go to Rajasuya Yagya because Rajasuya Yagya's beginning should not be delayed. They should go there first. And as part of Rajasuya's Yagya, naturally we will have to defeat Jarasandha. It has to be accomplished. So that's why we should right now go to Yudhishthir and begin these festivities that he wants to glorify Krishna for. And then as a part of that, anyway, Jarasandha will be killed. Jarasandha will be delivered. So that's what Lord does then. He goes to Hastinapur along with all his associates. Okay, so this is how it completes. So all thank you very much for your patient listening all these days. Whatever 5 chapters that we had planned, so we were able to do them with whatever was possible from my side. We tried to cover. As I said, there is not much commentary on these, but still, whatever references were there, based on that, I tried to see and share with all of you. Okay, so Hare Krishna, thank you all very much. So if any of you need to leave, please go ahead. Anyone has questions, they can stay back. Hare Krishna.
So, hands are up. Yeah.
Radha Kunj Bihari Prabhu. Yeah.
2 questions, Prabhu. One is
You
this
can ask
human sacrifice.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Yes.
a lot of devotees are waiting. So you can ask one,
Yes.
I'll come back to you.
One. Yes. Okay, Prabhu. So this human sacrifice, Jarasandha was very dedicated to Brahmanas. Definitely the Brahmanas must have advised him. Where is this written? Is there any commentary on that? Is it in like one of the 4 Vedas?
What commentary?
No, when Jarasandha is doing this human sacrifice of 100 kings, 100,000
100,000.
kings. So definitely he's very much dedicated to Brahmanas.
I understood.
So
So
Brahmanas,
you are saying why did Brahmanas, or you are asking whether this sacrifice is mentioned in the Vedas?
yeah, somewhere there, because that's where he must have got it from, somewhere.
Okay. No, see the idea, this is in Mahabharata actually. Mahabharata explains this episode in detail. See the idea of sacrifices like Mahabhairava and all that, there is no direct vidhan of Narabali. But sometimes what is considered is uh, an ignorant living being, or somebody who is some ignorant soul is there. So ignorant living being, he is treated as good as an animal.
Animal.
And that's when they want to do even that particular bali. Now somebody can say these are all sophisticated kings. How can they be considered to be as equal as animals? Like that. But then even the Brahmanas respect, I mean, Jarasandha had respect for Brahmanas, but he was not guided by Brahmanas who were, all of them were followers of Pancharatras or Vaishnav Vidhis or like that. No, some of them were also tamasic Brahmanas who followed a lot of deadly Shakta ways of Abhichar and all that. So he respected all the Brahmanas, no doubt, but he was guided also by some very tamasic sort of, like Brahmanas are all kinds, no? There are Shakta Brahmanas, there are Abhichar Brahmanas, there are Vaishnav Brahmanas. So not all of them, they, you can say, are in Sattvic part. No, many of them are in Tamasic also. So he was just respectful to all Brahmanas, but he took approval of uh, some Bhairava sacrifice like that from some of the Brahmanas who approved such a thing, saying that, well, yes, these are like animals only. So that's why he wanted to sacrifice in that way.
Yes, thank you.
Chaitanya Prasad Prabhu.
Yes. This 18th time is Rukmini Apaharanas. Prior to that, you're mentioning, Prabhu. I'm a little confused on this. Once when Jarasandha is attacked, then Lord had a run to Pravarshana. Another time, that is also apparently seen as Lord did not come back. Or another time when
So
Kalayavan had.
it is the same time, Prabhu. Running to Pravarshana and all, it is the same time, 18th time it is.
So, okay, in that, this was
in
one
that
of the
only.
reasons.
Yeah, see, when Mathura was attacked for the 18th time, and attacked means basically Jarasandh was going to come. It's like, today Lord came to realize that Kalayavana had attacked actually, and Jarasandh was about to come in just 1 or 2 days. So he understood that it is going to be a deadly situation because Kalayavana is already there, Kalayavana's army. And then we see Jarasandh is also there. Kalayavana had just about to reach. So that is where he understood that I have to protect Mathura Vasis. So he transferred that night all the Mathura Vasis to Dwarka in one night. And who remained? Only few soldiers remained, along with few horses and a few other animals. And Krishna Balram remained. So that night, everybody was transferred to Dwarka, but Krishna Balram remained. And so in that was the night. And then next day is when Jarasandha arrives there, like that. So Lord, basically what he does is he runs away. He ran away from Jarasandha. He did not. So before that, he has killed Kalayavana and all. Kalayavana's killing is done before only. And then after that, Jarasandha is reaching. So Jarasandha reached, then Lord ran away. And then when he ran away, then he went to Pravarshana. So then Jarasandha chased him on Pravarshana also and all. So we know that he jumped from Pravarshana. And like that, then he ran. And in between here, what happened? Kalayavana's army was destroyed. So all the gold of Kalayavan was taken by the party that Lord had left in Mathura. All those soldiers and all these guys, they picked up all the huge gold that Kalayavana's army was having. Because Lord thought these will be the funds that are needed for Dwarka temple's construction, and that's why he carried that whole gold from Kalyavana's army. So after running from Pravarshana, and the Lord made them run so much that finally this Jarasandha went back to Magadha, saying that, this just leave him, you cannot catch him, and then he has ran away, so anyway he is defeated. This is like humiliating. So Magadha did not go back to Mathura also, because he thought anyway Krishna Balram are not there now. Where, I don't know where they ran. So he went back to Magadha, and Lord and this party which had brought all the huge gold, they met in between, and then they went to Dwarka with that huge gold. So that's how it happened. And then Rukmini's why did Lord not defeat that Jarasandha's army? Because as I said, because he spared that army, Ji Goswami mentions, he spared that army so that he knew as soon as Jarasandha comes to know that I am actually there in Kaudinyapur now, so he will immediately leave from Magadha, saying that, Acha, bhag ke idhar gaya kya Kaudinyapur? So he will come to Kaudinyapur, and then I will defeat him there in front of everybody. And that is the 18th time Lord defeated. You understood?
Because in Pravarshana episode, we don't hear a comment like this, that Lord will defeat. It is just as a human, like
No, but
Ram.
why did he, no, you tell me, why did he go to Pravarshana? What do you think? Why did he go to Pravarshana?
They
He was
exhibited like,
chased.
yeah,
He was chased by, you
correct,
read it nicely, he was chased by Jarasandha, so he went to Pravarshana.
correct.
Okay. He was chased. Both of them were chased by his army. That's why they went to Pravarshana. Like,
Okay. It appears that Jarasandha never attacked on Dwarka. Means his all attacks were
no,
at Mathura only.
he never attacked on Dwarka. He attacked
Okay.
only on Mathura.
Mathura. Okay.
Yeah, true. He attacked only on Mathura. 18th attack was also on Mathura. See, Dwarka was, Prabhuji, impossible to attack. How could you attack Dwarka? Nobody could attack Dwarka. It was surrounded by the sea and all that. In fact, that was the purpose. No, 17 times attack of Mathura. Lord thought that this is going to be a huge disturbance, this Jarasandha. So let me move them to a place where it is just Durga, fortress. Nobody can attack only. So after they were pushed, after they were taken to Dwarka, there was just no attack, absolutely. Lord was going to different places and finishing off Pondrak and this, Shalva and that, but none of them were sort of attacking Dwarka. Of course, there is some battle which is talked about, Shalva and all that, but actual Dwarka was hardly attacked, except, things like this Pondraka's fire demon reaching there and all that. So that was heat of the fire demon. Jarasan never attacked. That's the point.
So this word of Aribhayat Palayana, that's used, it's a perception by, in that sense only we say, it's people felt here.
Yeah, Aribhayat is their Jarasandha Bhayat. Yeah, like that. So, and that is just a conception. That's true. The whole purpose was in the mind of the Lord. So he goes to Pravarshana also. He meets some sages there. Harivamsh gives some more details of Pravarshana. Why? What does he do on Pravarshana? There is some additional detail. I forgot that. But yeah, he goes to Pravarshana also with a purpose, and then he jumps. They try burning whole Pravarshana, so that's why they jump. Then that's why they jump, and then once they jump and run away, then Jarasan leaves. He said, just leave them. You cannot catch them.
Okay. Thank you.
Samapan Gopra.
This from yesterday, this demigod worship made Narada unhappy. So it is surely mentioned by some acharya. Right?
It is mentioned by Jiva Goswami.
Jiva Goswami mentioned that.
Yeah.
That was the particular reason of Narada's.
Both, we talked about two reasons, no? One was worship of himself, and second was worship of demigods.
Yes,
That's why he was distressed.
verify.
There is question in modern times, people concocting such sacrifice is understood, but how in Vedic times also such concoction existed?
Got answered, Prabhu.
Is
Got
there?
answered.
Oh, okay, got answered. Right. One more.
It's not.
How are the kings saying such wise words? Any mention of their association with devotees? I have not.
Nice.
This whole they must have heard probably philosophy and all, but it just never struck them. With this huge suffering now, everything came to their heart. These are certainly pious kings, no doubt, although they said that they are in Vikarma. But that is more from the angle of that they were like completely disinterested. Even the punyas they did, they were only for the sake of attaining enjoyment. That's why they did punya karma. So that's the sense of being in vikarma. Usually, Vedic kings, any king won't be into vikarma. They would at least be on the platform of karma. So that's how it should be. So at least I didn't read anything like that. Probably they must have heard from saints and sages, but they needed some intense experience in their life, and that happened by Jarasandha. So that's it. Unless and until somebody else has heard something on this.
Thank you.
That was one question. All right. Okay. Was there anything else? I think it's clear, right? Nothing else. Okay. So we should stop here then.
Hare Krishna. Radha Kunjari.
Radha Kushbhai, bro, you have something?
Yeah,
Oh, right.
very,
You had another question.
a very quick question, bro. That this Narad Muni coming with golden this thing, matted hair.
Blonde.
That's blonde, yeah. So, how to appreciate that? Because always we think of him as black hair, and when I was this morning also. So suddenly, this is like the first time I'm hearing this, and
Okay.
like it's so shocking. So was he an American or something like that? Comes to mind. So how do we understand this?
he is Vaikunthan, bro.
Vaikuntha.
Vaikunthian. See, yeah, nothing like that. Yeah, his hairs are golden. It is described many places. Even Kapila Muni's hairs were golden. It is described, right? Kapila Muni was Kapila in his complexion. He was brown. Kapila complexion was brownish. Similarly, Narada, his complexion is golden, but his hairs are also gold, like that. So, yeah, Prabhu, nothing like that. These are transcendental personalities. You may see all this sort of things.
And then the demons are copper hair generally. There's some
Demons are
generalization.
Yeah,
Some
demons
many
are
places.
copper hair. True.
And
Yeah, all the variety in spiritual world, even in Vaikuntha, all different varnas of residents there. It is mentioned that although they have Sarupya Mukti, but that can be also as green complexion, yellow complexion, and white complexion. So they have some of them, like many of them have certainly color like monsoon cloud, but Vaikuntha's residents are also having these other complexions. Jiva Goswami mentions in third canto commentary. So they are there. This creation is full of variety. So much.
Thank you. Very, very.
Take care.
So, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Arjuneshwar, bro. Okay, Bhagavad Katha, bro.
Bro, I heard once that Jarasandha, while attacking the 18th time, so he had, I think, asked the Brahmanas to give blessings to win this war. Otherwise, he will come and punish. Is it also one of the reasons mentioned for when Krishna didn't defeat him that time? We want to respect Brahmanas.
At least not in the list of Jiva Goswami and Sanatan that they have commented. No? I see that extensively he gives 8-9 reasons, but he doesn't write this as a reason. Yeah, this is in chapter creation of Dwarka, chapter 50, I think. You can see there 50 or 51. So once I had given a session on Rukmini Vivaha Swayamvar, so that time I had scrutinizingly like enlisted all the reasons from various commentaries. But this reason was not there, surprisingly, although this idea is obviously mentioned. I think it is mentioned in Mahabharata also. He had taken the blessings. But that was the reason for Lord to turn away from battle. That thing I said is not spoken by Acharya. So maybe it is there, at least it is not spoken by Vishwanath or Jeev. So that much I remember.
But you mentioned Mahabharata like this.
It is mentioned somewhere. It is mentioned either in Mahabharata or in Hari Vamsha, because I had read this first time in detail from Hari Vamsha also. So I can check, Prabhu, I can double check where it is. Somewhere it is mentioned, this thing, that once he had got the benediction that he will be able to defeat Krishna once, but then that defeat also was in terms of only the Krishna not fighting only at all. That way. So whether Lord remember that benediction or anything like that, that is not spoken by anyone. The Lord gives a lot of reasons, like Jiva Goswami mentions a lot of reasons, like he saw the situation, then he wanted that the Jarasandha's army should be distracted so that all the gold can be taken away to Dwarka. If he does not distract the army, then that army will not allow the gold to be taken to Dwarka. So he wanted to that gold to be taken away to Dwarka. He wanted to meet some sage or someone in Pravarshana. Somebody meets them in Pravarshana. I have to see. Pravarshana, then that is second. And then he gives like this list and then finally says, Kintu Rukmini Haran Parakrama Kautukartham. That's the main reason, that he wanted to spare the army. And he said to, it was as if he said to Jarasandha that, okay, you all of you come there in Rukmini's Swayamvar, there I will show you who is the master, who's the king. So there he defeats them terribly. Jarasandha and these guys, he just does a mockery of their whole army. And that's how Rukmini is like so delighted. Rukmini is so happy to see Krishna taking so much of trouble for her. In fact, he says all this army, he says, is yours, O Rukmini. Like Lord's army, he says, your army, although it is Lord's army, he says to Rukmini that your army will defeat this army of Jarasandha. So you can see that he is there very much in pleasing mood to Rukmini. And why such a ghastly thing like killing such a huge army of in front of Rukmini? Well, because Jiva Goswami says he was a Kshatrani, and she was also very fierce in her attitude. Although her overall nature towards Krishna is timid, but because he's Kshatrani, so the army, routed in front of her by Krishna is going to really delight her like anything. So that's why Krishna acted with her in that manner. So this is what he says. So I remember clearly, other reasons he has sort of marginalized. He has made them secondary. And he has very much highlighted this Lord's pleasure, Lord's desire to please Rukmini for that running away from the battlefield. So that is.
And one more thing, generally we hear that Krishna ran away because Rukmini is like to kidnap Rukmini. He has to go quickly. That's why he ran away from battle. We hear that. Is it because according to see in the Bhagavatam, he didn't go directly to Konyapur. He went to Dwarka. Later, Brahmana came to Dwarka. It looks like some gap was there.
Yeah, there is some gap. Yes.
This is not.
He wanted to address it. Certainly, it was an emergency, but it is like there is some gap over there. Sure. I mean, exactly, I don't remember how many days and all, but there is some gap, no doubt. Lord goes to Dwaraka, and in Dwaraka, the message comes then. It's like that.
I'm saying that Miss Krishna ran away to protect to kidnap Rukmini. Is it also like a reason for running away from battle?
No, he ran away. No, the point is he spared the army for Rukmini.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's the point.
Because
We are not saying he. See, only after he reaches to Dwarka, he receives the message. No, although he had heard about Rukmini's love before also, but he gets a message now there from this. So the message is arriving in Dwaraka, no?
Yeah.
Naturally. So it is arriving after this whole episode of running away, so to say. So that's why, but he, as Lord, he knows for his pastime, no? So he spared that army for later finishing it off with Rukmini. The message is not arriving in Mathura, the message is arriving in Dwaraka. While Lord is running away from Mathura. That's the point. So it is clearly understandable that Lord has ran away before and the message has arrived later. But because he knew about Rukmini's love, he even to that Brahmana he says, no, yeah, I know how much she loves me before only. So he knew that, and with that thought in the mind, he's sparing the army already. Like, at least this is the opinion of our Acharya. So we accept it.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Hare Krishna. So Arjun Ishwar Prabhu and Chetan Prasad Prabhu and other devotees wanted me to express some thank you and gratitude to His Grace Hare Krishna Prabhu. So very grateful Prabhu for taking us through these 5 chapters. It was very
Thank you.
nectarian to hear from you, narrating the details of pastimes with description of details of externals as well as the emotions and the moods based on previous Acharya's commentaries. So actually the speciality was that you just described it and we just have to hear it. You studied all the commentaries, which are quite heavy. I tried, but so thank you for that. That's the first thing. And not just describing, you did mention very beautiful and deep personal application things, very relevant to the pastime, which was mentioned by Acharyas like Balaram's mood and many other things actually. Narada's mood also, when his mode of preaching and humbly preaching and appreciating the intimate devotees and many other things which needs
Thank you,
mentioned. So, and other third thing is very wonderful questions and answers, very eloquent and authoritative, and it gave us insight into the depth of Krishna Tattva as our Ashraya Tattva in terms of Rasa and Leela both. So that was the most amazing part, especially for me, to hear other questions and answers. So thank you so much, Pooji, for your.
Thank you.
And
Thank
we
you, bro. Thank
would have
you
been
for.
more happy to if you would have come here. But of course, you are speaking in the morning for Pune and evening also. Bhakti Vaibhav is there, so still you have some more things there. So look forward for more to hear from you here.
Yeah. Now I'm coming back, I'm leaving tomorrow, day after tomorrow, after the unit is over.
Prabhuji, thank you so much.
That's the.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Prabhuji, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Krishna Mataji, thank you so much. Yes.
You
So
explained
actually,
so
bro,
much.
Yeah.
So nicely you explained each and every purport and with all the examples. So wonderful, Prabhuji. Please keep coming and guiding us.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
I
Thank you,
was
Mataji.
wondering how very minute details also were
Yes.
spoken, which we had never heard before. Even in Krishna book we've been reading, but even of course, even in the Bhagavatam, but somewhere in between the lines also you were able to say so wonderfully, Prabhuji. So thank you so much with that detailed explanation. Hare Krishna.
See, that's
Yesterday,
the
I just
style of reading from Sanskrit and Tikas, Mataji. So when you read from there, no, naturally the analysis will be very thorough. You won't miss things like that. That's how it is designed actually. The text. Yeah, basically, if we can relish the text and look at its words and analyze in that way, then it is quite, it can become, whole thing can become quite relishable this
Prabhuji,
way.
in fact,
So I'm just trying to do that. That's it.
in fact, the Sanskrit, if you remember, you've taken one Sanskrit course. It became very helpful for me to study even the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam later on. And to
Yeah.
explain also. Now what I do is I take every word and with Anvaya I'm explaining the.
Yeah, so that is very good. That's the way actually. That's how, see, even if we read translation, no, we should go back to the text and then just map it very nicely. And then go word by word. You just explain it word by word. You will see that it's a thorough explanation of the text. It accomplishes its purpose. You will not miss anything if you will cover all the words. It will do a thorough justice to the text. Now, additional to that is insights from Acharya and all that we have to study and speak nicely. So we are just trying to do that. That's it. Right. But I'm thankful to questions actually, Samapan Prabhu and others also. Sometimes I am like more focused on explaining the text and explaining Acharya's import and explaining what is there spoken from the commentaries. But by questions also, sometimes the things were made relevant. Things were made practical in application. So this is a good way. I was thinking that by questions also, then I could share some experience based on my experience. I could share something in connection to even applications and all. So that kind of mutual complementing is good. I can give the Shastric aspect a little bit well, but when questions also come from practical side, then we also do the justice with that practical aspect. But 10th canto, primarily, you can see that, the pastimes themselves should be relished first. You can take the lessons and discuss and all that, but the details of the pastimes, that itself is first to relish. The imports, details, moods, emotions of the devotees. And then from that, you can also take lessons and learn in life. So if we do justice with the main focus, our heart will be so nourished that you will also get those lessons and all very easily. Sometimes effort may be just to take out lessons and then forget this whole detailed emotions and what is happening there in the Leela. So that should not be done with especially Lord's pastimes. Otherwise, it will lose its charm. The whole charm is there in those original words and rasa of the words and emotions of the words. And they're sublime, actually. These are sublime thoughts. Sometimes we may try to take out some application, but that application may be very ignorant or unenlightened, while the Acharya's thought is quite sublime. Prabhupada's thought is very sublime. So then it is just like satisfies you so much. Oh, this is so wonderful. That way. So
yes.
Thank you.
Yesterday, the whole Narada episode that you shared, I should say this, for almost a couple of years, my chanting has been a little disturbed. But yesterday, this morning, when I was just going through what you had taken us through Narada's episode, looking through the 16,000 palaces, 2 hours went by so beautifully. It's undescribable, and really thanks to you and those pastimes.
Thanks,
Very,
Prabhu. Thanks. You are a very sincere sadhaka. Thank you.
Prabhuji, also you can mention that you are going to start teaching or again, you can say 10th canto and 11th canto from the 17th of October or something like that. And maybe
Okay,
other
yeah.
devotees can take advantage of that, rasa.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding. Yeah. So yes, for all devotees, all devotees request based on. So I'm going to teach 10th canto and 11th canto starting from 17th of October and 18th of October, 2 sessions per week. And this is on Zoom IDs and links that I will share. And it is going to be based on commentaries. It's a completely free course. It's a free registration. So I'm doing this for the sake of all the students that very much were requesting me to teach 11th canto and 10th canto also. So many of you may have received those flyers. So if you wish, you can join. I'm going to keep it quite crisp. I'm going to keep it based on Acharya commentaries, and sometimes also Prabhupada purports, some points pertaining from there appropriate. But the whole thing is like, yeah, it's a free-flowing explanation of text by text with Anvaya and all that. I will not show the text of commentary and try to read it line by line, which I do in my other classes. But I'm going to give a very summarized view of that commentary, just like we were doing here, right? Something like that. So for the 10th and 11th canto. So all of you are welcome. Anybody wishes to join, please come.
So Prabhuji, if people are going for, like I'm going for Vrajamandal Parikrama, so will it be done at a
Or
time of the
recordings.
day?
Yeah.
Recording?
Recordings
No,
will
but
be
will
there,
it be
bro.
done
I'll
later in the
forward. I
day?
mean, whoever has the posters, please forward it to Prabhuji. Or Prabhu, you sent a message to me. I'll
I'm
forward.
already forward Prabhuji on the group. I already
Okay.
forwarded on the group.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you. So the recordings will be there. You can hear the recordings because every week 2 sessions actually, and that's it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So
Hare
we
Krishna.
should stop here then.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So Arjuneshwar Prabhu,
Yes,
anything
Prabhuji.
else?
Just there will be no CB for this unit because there are very few questions. So next speaker will be Radhika Vallabh. Will be coming to in the next week. So all of you can arrange your time. Already we have message for that. So test will become cumulative for this unit and next unit together in the next month. Yes, Prabhuji. That is enough.
Jai, thank you. Srila Prabhupada
Thank you
ki
very
jai.
much. Jai, Jai.
Mantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai. Thank you very much. Hare